Assalamu alaikum. How are you doing, guys? Sorry, a little bit late, just finishing off my dinner because the warm-up went a little bit longer than I expected. Anyhow, welcome to I think it's episode 36 of The Arena. So just for anyone who's new to The Arena, basically this format is for non-Muslims, atheists, Christians, Hindus, Islamophobes, whomever you are. Anyone who wants to challenge Islam directly by challenging what they think is false about Islam or something they think they can refute about the teachings of Islam or anything like that, you're welcome to come on the stream. At the same time, you're also welcome to come on the stream if you don't know much about Islam, but you would think Christianity is true. You can come on the stream and you can present Christianity, and we'll let you preach, man. We'll let you preach why you believe the Bible is reliable. We'll let you preach why you believe Jesus died for your sins or had to die for your sins, or whatever it may be. If you're an atheist and you believe that your ancestors were a fish, you're more than welcome also. If you're a Hindu and you believe in flying caveman, you're also welcome. So, inshallah, and if you just want to challenge Islam and Muslims, whatever you want to do. So this stream is for you, non-Muslims. This is an open forum for you to come on, make your claims. Please, no obscenities or anything like that. We'll just kick you. Muslims, please, I'm going to have a zero tolerance on you guys. So if as soon as you come on and I smell you're a Muslim, you're out of here, because it's not a Muslim stream. We only have so many spaces for guests, and we have to respect the rights of the non-Muslim, because this is their platform. This is their chance to get it off their chest. They're sick of these Muslims taking over their country. They don't want Sharon law or wherever it is. Yeah, this is what we're here for. Right. So, without further ado, so what we do, we invite you on. I'm going to change the format a little bit today, and the way I'm going to do it is because I'm going to help you guys. Because a lot of the guests who come on to challenge Islam or to present whatever it is, they ramble, and we're there listening, thinking, "What are you talking about, mate?" So, what's going to happen today, inshallah, when you come on? I'm going to ask you first before the boys get involved. I'm going to ask you first what your belief system is, because we want to see if you're being consistent or not. So if you're a Christian, you tell you're a Christian. If you're a Hindu, you're a Hindu. If you're atheist, agnostic, Sikh, whatever it is, we need to know what your belief system is so we understand what paradigm that you're approaching us with. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing, I'm going to try to assemble, put together, put it in lights, yeah, your claim, your point, what you're trying to make. Once we've established and you confirm that this is the point you're trying to make, then we'll throw it over to the gladiators and then they can chew it up. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on the gladiators. So mashallah, all the way from across the pond is our brother Ijaz Trini. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam. Happy to be here with you, Hamza, Habibi.
So happy to have you. Been a while, bro. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
We've got Abdul Rahman from the Thought Adventure podcast, mashallah. Assalamu alaikum, Akhi.
You're muted. There you go. Still can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you,
Assalamu alaikum. Sorry, it's a very bad start.
Alhamdulillah. So all you atheists,
thanks for having me on.
Well, lovely to have you, my brother. Thanks for accepting. So all you atheists, mashallah, your questions are going to get responded to beautifully, inshallah. All you would-be philosophers out there, Abdul Rahman's a man for you. And then we are brother Yemeni. How are you doing, Akhi? Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you, brothers?
Alhamdulillah. He is the, you heard good cop, bad cop. This is the really, really nice cop. Yeah, this is the guy that he might even take your side. How you doing, bro? He's your protector. He's the one holding me back. Alhamdulillah. Brother Shabir Yusuf is going to join us about 10 o'clock, inshallah.
Pretty sure I saw the both of you on us for the 7th year Queen's Jubilee, in downtown outside of St. Paul's Cathedral. I've been fun recently. No, is that not the case? Yamani looks like the guy who would be front in line to celebrate that, to be honest with you.
I was probably one of the people that graffitied over the Queen's statues.
He probably was sitting in front of the Queen's Guard, isn't it? All right. So without further ado, I'm going to put the link out there. There's already a Christian saying, "You're going to run from me again, Hamza." It's like so ridiculous, these people, man. All right. So let's get it on. Let's get the show on the road. So like I said, the new format, and I'm going to try and speak as least as I can tonight, inshallah. I've got the guests to answer the questions. I'll just maybe chip in at the end. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to piece the point together, because you guys ramble when you come on. Not you guys, the guests. So, alhamdulillah, without further ado. Who's our first guest? Who's going to take up the challenge of the arena? Look at that. No Muslims. First one in the pack. Mohammed Salama. It's like, come on, man. I forgot to say that. Yeah, sorry, Zakir Hussein won't be joining. He had to pull out. He had personal things going on. So
because he's from Birmingham, like, why would you invite people from that?
it's because nobody understands them. You go, all right, I'm doing there, right? Yeah. We're talking about the Old Testament now, all right? Sorry, what say? Can we have subtitles, please? I'm like, speak English, mate. Anyway, without further ado, Mike came on the warm-up. I don't know if he kept complaining that he couldn't hear us.
Yes, I'm sorry for the last time. My mic was shit. Anyway, I'm not religious yet, but I have searched Islam for about a year now, and I think it holds some points of truth for me. I'm convinced with a lot of things in it, but there are only two questions that are holding me back, and I hope that you guys answer it.
Okay.
Is it okay?
So basically, right now you're not really religious at all.
Yes.
You believe in a creator?
Yes.
Alhamdulillah. So you believe in a creator. So okay, that's fine. So you're kind of a theist, but you haven't chosen which way to connect to the creator. Yeah.
In Islam, it's mentioned a lot. The Jinn, you know the Jinn.
We'll come to your questions. Don't worry. I'm just establishing your position, and then you can ask a question.
Okay, my position is clear. I have no anything extra to add.
So all right. So what's your question?
My question is Jinn provable? Is it provable that they exist outside of Quran and Hadith?
Okay, so are you saying?
Yes.
I can't believe I'm repeating this question, honestly. Are you saying, is there any reporting or evidence or record of Jinn existing outside of the Quran and the Hadith? Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Yeah.
And there is a second question, but after this one.
No disrespect, Mike. We'll deal with this nonsense question first, and then hopefully your next question is a little bit tougher. All right. Who would like to take this on?
Okay.
I'll give it a shot.
Go on. Yeah.
Well, first of all, welcome, Mike.
Welcome.
With regards to anything about the unseen world, obviously you cannot prove it other than through what you would have to take it on faith, and this is why Islam, like every other religion, is ultimately based on faith. However, in Islam we reach that faith through a line of reasoning. So when you go down the route of trying to discover or rediscover, or learn about the existence of Allah, and you come to believe that Allah is the only God worthy of worship, and you believe that the Quran is true and it is revelation from him. When you follow that path and through that line of reasoning, and you come through rational thought to accept these things, then to take that extra step to say, well, if I believe that the Quran is from God, and I believe that God doesn't lie, I believe he exists, then surely he must be telling us the truth about the existence of the Jinn and what they do, the different kinds, and so on and so forth. So with regards to the knowledge of the unseen, we don't know. We can't prove one way or the other. This is something we take on faith, but it is not unreasonable for us to take it upon faith because of the investigation that we've done and the rational conclusions that we come to, where we say, yes, Allah exists and he is worthy of worship, and the revelation he has revealed to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is true.
Okay.
So what do you think about that?
Yes, I think it's necessary to. What you want to say is, I have to. There is no point of faith if I always ask for evidence. That's right.
As it says in the Quran, in Surah Al-Ma'idah, in chapter 5 of the Quran, do not ask questions once something has been made clear to you, right? So there is no point, in essence, there is no point of asking so many questions that it would after you've received clarity. So once something is clear to you, there is no point of asking more questions because it's already clear to you. And if you ask more and more questions, you start leading yourself down a route where there's doubt, because then you start asking questions that you will never get the answer to because you've already received that clarity. So what I'm saying essentially is once you have that clarity that Allah exists, He is the God of all the worlds, He has revealed the Quran to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that is true, then what is the content of the Quran and the content of the Hadith is true as well by default.
Okay. I guess thank you for clarifying this. The second question is related about ayah in the Quran. If I really don't know, I don't have English translation, and I don't know it in English because I'm Arab originally. But if anyone will understand the ayah, please explain it to me. The one that goes أفلم يسيروا في الأرض فتكون لهم قلوب يعقلون بها. So basically the ayah means, from my understanding, is that
What ayat is it? Sorry.
What?
What ayat?
The ayah that goes أفلم يسيروا في الأرض.
Sorry.
Just wait a second, please. Wait a second.
It's basically saying, do they not have hearts through which they reason or think or something?
Yes,
so basically
yes,
the question is,
exactly.
how come they reason? How come reason is
With hearts? Yes, yes, that's the question.
Well, you have heard the phrase "don't think with your head, not your heart," isn't it?
Yes.
Right. So do people think with their heart or their heads, or mixture, or both?
From what I know and from what science know, I think it's mind. That's why I'm asking.
No. Some people act on their emotions, mate.
Yeah, but also emotions come from the brain, as well.
Feelings.
Yeah, I know. I'm not disagreeing with this.
You've been looking into Islam, and these are your questions that's causing you. Oh, I don't know if Islam is true.
No, I don't say that I don't know if Islam is true. I genuinely believe that it's true, but I want these things to be clear to me. That's it. You know, I don't have a problem accepting Islam even if these things aren't clear, but I would prefer them to be clear. That's it. So, does this ayah agree with science, or I just want clarification? That's it.
Yeah.
Why
so
is science your standard? Why is your
is it clear? Is it clear to you outside of Islam? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It is clear in science too. Don't know if you can see the article here.
No, we can't see.
The screen is blurry.
Basically, I'll put the link into the chat, but pain, is it all in the brain or the heart? It's available on pubmed.gov, which is the National Library of Medicine, National Center for Biotechnology Information, I believe by the US government. And the abstract basically is, does the heart play a role in thinking and in emotional moderation? And as it turns out, scientists, at least from the 1990s, 1991, have demonstrated that there is an intrinsic cardiac nervous system. So yes, there is a heart brain that composes at least 40,000 neurons that are alike neurons in the brain, meaning that the heart has its own nervous system. So yes, but on the surface and scientifically, it seems to indicate that the heart is used for thinking in some capacity.
Okay. Thank you so much for clarifying.
Are you ready to accept Islam? Because you said you had 2 questions.
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, Hamza, take it away.
You ready to become a Muslim? Yeah.
What?
You ready to become a Muslim?
Does it? Yes, I'm ready. Do I become Muslim automatically if I believe, or?
No, it is better for you to recite the Shahadah.
You have to recite the Shahadah.
Okay.
Hamza?
That was it.
I'm ready. Do I have to do it now?
Yeah. Do you know how to say the Shahadah?
Yes, I'm Arab.
Okay, then say it then.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله.
I'm sure you're not a Muslim.
Just a Muslim.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, thank you guys very much.
Either way.
Thank you guys. Yes, I was raised. I basically live in a Muslim community. That's it. That's why I know.
Are your parents Muslim?
Thank you guys. Yes.
So when did you leave Islam?
Yeah.
What?
When did you leave Islam?
I didn't leave Islam. My family basically is so open-minded that they didn't care that much. You would call them Muslim by names. So that's why I started questioning, and then I started researching.
Okay, mashallah. Okay.
And I watched so much of your stream, this Hamza then. I watched so much of it that many questions became clear to me.
Yeah. Okay. But these two
You
questions
guys are doing a great job.
Alhamdulillah. All right, my brother. You take care. I have to kick you off now because you're a Muslim. Assalamu
alaikum. Okay.
It's a non-Muslim stream, mate. He's a nice guy. He was trying for ages to come on earlier. That's a weird one, wasn't it? But it's true. I always say this. Just because your parents are Muslim or you're from a Muslim heritage, you need to still understand why you believe Islam is true. You can't just take it for granted, because if that's the case, if your place of birth or family of birth is a definition or defining truth for you, then all the Hindus and Christians and everybody all have the same excuse to say, well, our beliefs is true. That was a weird one. Anyway, I think this next guest is going to be fun. Did you have anything to add to that? Sorry, Abdurrahman. There's nothing to really add. Was it about the jinns or, what was the other one? Was it about the heart? I mean, that should be astounding. That should be astounding to people. If what you've just said, Ijaz, about how the heart has neurons and thinking.
Well, it was like 30 years ago. I just think that
no, but still, I'm not saying scientific miracles in the Quran, but just say, well, why would the author of the Quran put something like this in? But then it could just be a metaphor, the way that, like I say, think with your heart, don't think with your heart, think with your head or whatever. Anyway, here's someone who thinks with his heart. Charles.
Hello, how are you?
Fantastic.
Okay, so my question is, why is Jesus called the Messiah?
All right, so just to remember the new format, you're a Christian, yeah?
That is correct.
Okay, and you want to know why Jesus is called the Messiah?
That is correct.
And why do you want to know that?
I think it's an important thing to know. Do you agree?
Why?
Okay, so can you be a Muslim and not accept Jesus as the Messiah?
No.
Okay, so my question would be as follows. Why is Jesus called the Messiah?
There's an easy answer to this. Do you want the easy answer or the lengthy answer?
You can give me either.
Okay, quite simply put, at least the Messiah in ancient Israel, there was no specific the Messiah HaMashiach. There were multiple Messiahs to come, like the Essenes believed. And I think even throughout the Hebrew Bible, Cyrus is called a Messiah. Isaiah 59:20 has a Redeemer or a Messiah as well. This becomes the Messiah with Paul in his writings in Romans 11:26. But the point simply to put is that the role of a Messiah is a reformer and religious authority for the children of Israel, in the same way that prophets hold that office outside of the children of Israel. So in Islam, Ibrahim alayhi salam, Abraham, he is called Khalilullah, the friend of Allah. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he has the title of Habibullah, the beloved of Allah. And Isa al-Masih, he has the title of al-Masih, because this is the title which Allah has given him, and it simply means that he holds a role of religious authority over the children of Israel. That is the basic and general meaning.
So that is actually, when I'm referring to the Messiah, I was talking about just the Quran and the Hadith in general and the meaning behind it. So when we look
I gave an answer with that in mind, yes.
Of course, you gave me an answer, but that answer is not actually correct. Ibn Abbas disagrees with you in the tafsir of Al-Imran, ayah 45. He gives multiple different meanings to the word.
We don't have a tafsir of Ibn Abbas. We have something attributed to him, but this is typically weak.
Ibn Kathir says
you're allowed to go to him,
right? Ibn Kathir says the one to rub. Al-Tabari says something different, so there's no real consensus of the word meaning.
There does not need to be a consensus about it, but we do affirm that he is Al-Masih.
Okay, so when you said it's somebody for Israel, right? Your scholars just do not say that. They say something different. Ibn Kathir says...
Where do they put that Al-Masih is something for people outside of Israel?
Okay, so when we talk about the Quran or the Hadith, right? That's what I got from the scholars.
No, but where do they say that? Because you seem to have checked the references. So where do the references say that Al-Masih is something not only for the children of Israel?
Okay, so in the tafsirs of Al-Imran, ayah 45.
Which tafsir says that Al-Masih is for children only outside of, sorry, not only for the children outside of Israel?
No, so the tafsir from Ibn Kathir says the one to rub. I can quote it for you if you like.
No, but listen to the question one more time. You said that my understanding does not cohere with the understanding of the tafsir. So which tafsir says that Al-Masih, that this office and title, includes for children in Israel and outside of it, but is not only for the children of Israel?
No, your definition is different to what your scholars have said. As in
Listen to the
definition
question. Listen to the question again. Forget my definition. Where does it say that the office holder for Al-Masih, that this is not only for the children of Israel?
It doesn't say that, but that's...
It doesn't say that, but that's the conclusion you came to, right?
My conclusion...
So your conclusion is not stated by any tafsir that you've read.
So my conclusion of the word Messiah is there's no consensus and there's no understanding what the actual word means or the role of the Messiah.
No, so this will be incorrect. Onomastics of the tafsir dictate that this is something specific to Isa himself. And the specificity is that because he's from the children of Israel.
Okay,
If you've read anything of onomastics in the tafsir literature, you would know this. So which field of which scholar of onomatology have you read on this?
Okay, so when I look at the tafsirs, right, first of all, we can see that you have said that Jesus is, or Isa, is the only Messiah, right? So anyone calling people more than calling that there's many Messiahs or all prophets are Messiahs is completely...
Charles, what's your point? I'm done with this now.
Incorrect.
To
be clear, I said that Jesus is the only Messiah declared in the Quran.
Right,
this is what
Charles, what's your point?
So don't change my words, please. Thank you.
What's your point?
Okay, so like I'm trying to state here is there's no consensus of the word.
Who cares? What's your point?
I will explain my point if you give me time.
Tell us your point then.
Okay, so when we look at the word Messiah, right, and we look at it through the Quran or the Hadith, we can't see a general meaning.
Okay, so what? What's your point?
Okay, so why should I accept in a religion that's not clear in detail? Why should I look at the Quran?
What's your point?
Well, why should I look at the Quran, look that it's not clear in detail at what the word Messiah means, but when I go to the Bible and I see what the Messiah means...
Okay, watch this. Watch this. Please do me a favor. Go to the Torah, the Pentateuch, and tell me what the definition of the Messiah is within the Pentateuch.
Okay, so
I want a clear definition.
When we look in the Bible, we can see the Messiah means
the Pentateuch, which is the first book of Moses, right? This is the teaching.
And I'm a Christian, so I don't go just based on that. I'm trying to show you again that in the Bible, I can clearly show you what the word Messiah means.
Hold on. Listen to my question, Charles. Listen to my question. You said it's clear. So is it clear because you have to include the New Testament, or can you find this understanding in the first 5 books of Moses?
Again, I'm a Christian, so
no,
I can
listen
go
to my question. I'm trying to understand.
You need to listen to me.
No, Charles, I don't have to.
Charles,
if
you keep playing this game, I'm just going to remove you.
Yeah.
All right,
Charles, you're making the claim that the Quran is not clear in what the word Messiah means. So I'm turning the tables on you. We have the Bible, which is comprised of several categories of books. So I'm going to expand the category as we go along. Can we find the definition of the Messiah, HaMashiach, within the Pentateuch, or do I have to expand beyond that?
We can see what the word Messiah means in the Bible, and that's
that's not what I asked.
Charles, can you just listen?
So here is the problem that we have. A person like Charles he'll read the Torah, the Pentateuch, he can't define HaMashiach in it. He'll expand to Nevi'im, he can't define HaMashiach in that. He'll expand to Ketuvim, so you have Torah, Nevi'im, Ketuvim, he can't find it within that. He'll expand it to the Gospels, can't find it within that.
Yes, I can.
Letters of Paul.
Yes, I can find it in the Gospels. That's a lie.
So you guys see now, I said Torah, he didn't say anything. I said Nevi'im, didn't say anything. I said Ketuvim, he didn't say anything. So for thousands of years, the God of the Bible was unclear about who the Messiah was. But the second I said Gospels, this person found the courage to speak up. Why do I have to wait the Gospels to make it clear when you had at least 39 books previous before that for thousands of years, which made it unclear? So if clarity was a reason to disbelieve in Islam, you have to reject the Old Testament. Thank you.
No, that's not true either, because we can see the prophecies in the Old Testament of the Messiah to come. We can see in, for example, Psalms 20.
Show me a single prophecy in the entire Tanakh that mentions something about HaMashiach.
Psalms 22, right? It says
Where does it say
Eli.
HaMashiach? Psalms 22 does not mention the term HaMashiach. So that would be your interpretation
again, I'm
of
trying
the
to
text.
show you in the Bible, right? Because I don't just take the Old Testament, I take the New Testament as well.
But you went to Psalms 22. You didn't go to the New Testament. So where in
Because I'm
Psalms
trying to show you
22
the
does it
prophecies.
mention HaMashiach?
Charles, does Psalms 22 mention the Messiah?
It mentions prophecies about the Messiah.
Does it mention the Messiah? Yes.
It mentions about the Messiah, yes.
Does it mention the Messiah, HaMashiach?
Does it mention the Messiah? Talks about the Messiah? Yes, it does.
No, does it listen to the question? I mean, you speak English, right? Habla inglés? See?
Of
right?
course.
HaMashiach,
The
does it mention
italiano?
does it mention HaMashiach in Psalm 22?
Does it mention about the Messiah in Psalm 22?
No, I didn't ask the word about. I asked
because you're trying to strawman the argument. You're trying to give
I'm the one asking the question.
of what the argument is trying to show.
I'm the one asking the question. I'm asking you, does it mention the Messiah, HaMashiach, in Psalm 22? It's a yes or no question. Either it does or it doesn't.
The Messiah, yes.
Right, so it doesn't mention HaMashiach. It's your interpretation that it's about that person, but your interpretation is useless. The text itself never mentions HaMashiach. If you can't read from
I'm sorry, can I ask a question? Charles, so before Christianity, right? So are you saying the Jews weren't like justified in accepting the Old Testament? No, prior to Christ?
No, so now we've gone away from the Quran and the Hadith, what the Messiah means.
No, but then you accept both traditions, right? So you accept the Old Testament, but right now you're saying you need to include the New Testament in order to get clarity. But then the question still stands: prior to the advent of the New Testament, were the Jews of the time justified in accepting the Torah as the word of God, or did they have rejected it for lack of clarity?
No, they haven't. They didn't reject it for lack of clarity. But for me, when I look at the Quran and I see in Surah and I see in
about the Quran, Charles. We don't care. You're not a Muslim.
We're throwing the Quran out the window. We don't care about it.
No, Charles.
Charles,
for you, the Quran doesn't help you when you're in this question. You're being asked about.
My question is about the Quran.
Charles. You're being asked by Abdurrahman about the Jews, and because there was no definition of the Messiah in the Old Testament, according to your principle that you're trying to apply to the Quran, you say they should have dismissed this.
No, what I'm saying is, from my understanding of the Old Testament, I'm not 100% knowledgeable of it. There could be a meaning that I haven't read into it.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
So now we go into more of an attacking way instead of actually dealing with my point.
No, I critiqued your point and I gave counter evidence, at which point you became emotional and you could not answer the question itself. Again, there was a simple question.
Let's put a mirror in front of you. If you're holding this position, if this is your position, if this is your principle, if you can't find a definition of something in a book, then don't accept that book. That's what you're saying.
No, I did not say that.
Yes,
would you say
you just exactly said that? You said, why should I accept the Quran if it doesn't define what the Messiah is?
Maybe I should rephrase it and make it easier for you to understand, right? Do you think Jesus is an important prophet in Islam? This is for you, Hamza. Let's see if me and you can talk. Do you think Jesus...
For which people?
Do you... for Muslims, do you think Jesus is...
No, who was Jesus sent to?
Jesus was sent for everyone.
No, who was he sent to?
He was sent for Israel, but he sent for everyone.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
No, he wasn't. Why do you believe that?
Yes, he was. This is very simple. We can read 1 Timothy 1:15.
Why do you believe what 1 Timothy says?
Because it's in the Bible, and I believe the Bible.
Why do you believe the Bible's true?
Okay, so now...
Why should the Bible be a standard of truth that we should adhere to?
So now, what we have done right, instead of answering my question about what the word Messiah
means... You were answered and then asked again, and you feel like
you haven't.
I'll tell you exactly what's happened, mate. We'll take you on the Yellow Brick Road to Oz, mate, and we're pulling back the curtain, and there's a little old man there, and there's no wizard. All right?
Okay,
so that's what we're doing to you. Because we're showing your inconsistency and your hypocrisy and your double standard. That's what we're doing, simply.
No.
You're using a standard. You said Timothy as if this is some authority. Why is Timothy an authority of anything?
Because, okay, so make it simple for you, right? I believe the Bible, right?
Why?
And that's my authority.
Why? Why do you believe the Bible?
I believe it's reliable.
Why do you believe in a book that you don't know who wrote it? Why do you believe in it?
Okay, so now we have gone off topic, right? And I want...
Ta-da, Charles. Ta-da, Charles. Ta-ra, Charles. Ta-ra, Charles. Don't people understand that you can't just say something in a vacuum and it's not going to lead somewhere? If you're going to come with a principle to apply on something, we're going to use that same principle. Do you really believe in that principle?
So I just want people to notice, though, he came with the question, he was clearly given an answer and said that he disagreed with the answer. When we asked why, he gave a standard. It's unclear, therefore it can't be true. We applied that same standard to the Bible, and he could not stand it. He got angry. So the point is with Christians, if you're not able to be consistent in your thinking, don't come up here and appear as if that we don't understand your question. You clearly agreed we answered it, and you clearly stated you disagreed. And then towards the end, you got so embarrassed by your answers, you said you had to dumb the questions down for us when you did not understand your own words of the question being put to you. I think this is why Christianity stays in the churches, and once it comes out, it gets dismantled in places like here, where we are allowed to think and question. Thank you.
Would you anyone else want to? Do you want to make your point, Abdulrahman? Sorry, I interrupted you when you was talking about the idea of what's the inconsistency about. For example, if he clearly said that how could he accept the Quran if it doesn't define what the Messiah is? And he was asked by Ijaz to show in the Old Testament where it's defined, and he had to go to the New Testament. So, what was the point you were making about the Old Testament? Just so we can underline this point.
I mean, it's just a lack of consistency all throughout. I mean, first of all, his response to Ijaz is a bit weird. So Ijaz gives him a very elaborate, detailed response, and his counter to Ijaz's answer is that, well, there's no consensus on it. So I mean, is that the standard for responses? Is that in order for you to give me a response, there has to be consensus on it? If that's the case, then we wouldn't have any conversation in the world. And then, I mean, his argument is basically when you press him to actually make a point, because there being a lack of consensus on a specific point in a religion is not a point. But when he tries to make a point, he says, well, because there's a lack of consensus and there's no clarity, well, I shouldn't accept the Quran. Well, okay, so let's test that for consistency. You accept the Old Testament, and you accept that the Jews prior to Jesus should have accepted the Old Testament. Now, Ijaz here was pressing you on a definition for Messiah in the Old Testament. And you said that you require the New Testament in order to get that clarity. Well, then, if you're consistent, then the standard should apply to the Old Testament, and the Jews prior to Jesus shouldn't have believed in the Old Testament, or shouldn't have accepted the Old Testament as the Word of God. It's as simple as that. If not, then you need to add stuff to your. And then when he came back and he's like, "Oh well, let me make the argument. It's because Jesus is important in Islam, so he's gonna start adding stuff." And then when you refute that, he's going to be like, oh, no, that's not what I meant. I meant important in this other way. It's like, you need to give a specific argument and then defend it. But that's rarely, that rarely ever happens, really.
And Yemeni?
Yeah.
Instead of sitting there looking pretty, can you actually say something, mate?
There's not much to say. I mean, Ijaz, mashallah, gave a, comprehensive answer, mentioned, what it means within Islam. And if he actually looked at the tafsir, he would see that the majority of them actually do mention the same things regarding the definition of the word, right? And in terms of masah, because it comes from the word masah, which means to wipe. And as the Mufassirin have mentioned, that the reason this is part of the meaning of his title, is because when he used to heal the people, and through the miracles, he would wipe over them and they would be healed. So this is the explanation that the scholars have given us in Islam. This is widely wide throughout their books. So there is a majority, and not all the Mufassirin are speaking about the definition of the word, so it's not always going to be in every single tafsir book that you find. And you'll see the different opinions and all of that. So it's very clear to us that who Isa alayhi salam is, what his title means, what it entails. This is all explained within Islam, in the Quran and the Hadith and the works of the scholars. But the Christians, first of all, in the New Testament, there is no definition for the word Messiah. There is no definition for it. And although the church fathers that came afterwards, they also had their opinions of what it meant. If I'm not mistaken, Hijaz will know better than me. If I'm not mistaken, there is no consensus from them. I could be wrong, but from what I've read, there isn't a consensus on
There is some difference. In fact, I think I remember this. They say it's because the high priest is anointed when he is appointed. He's like rubbed on his face with olive oil and herbs. But this isn't always required. So there is a difference of opinion here. It's not really a consensus, to be honest.
So by his logic, he should reject the New Testament as well, because there's no clarity in terms of the definition.
A double standard from a Christian, flipping never to go. Speaking of Christians, hey, you're muted, mate.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
How are you?
I'm all right, mate.
Okay. This is my first time on your stream. A few days back, I saw one of your videos regarding Islam. Basically, I live in a Muslim country, and I have so many Muslim friends. They're always pushing me to read about the life of Prophet Muhammad. So I just wandering on the internet and I saw your video. So can you give me some basic idea of the life of Prophet Muhammad? I have read in the last 2 months about the life of Prophet Muhammad from the Hadith, and I just want to discuss something about his life. But in the first place, can you give something? Why should I accept Prophet Muhammad as a prophet of God, or as the best person ever walked on the face of earth?
Okay, I can smell a loaded gun, right? So I'm assuming you're a Christian, yeah?
I am Christian.
Okay, so you believe Jesus died for your sins and the Prophet is not a true prophet and all this kind of stuff, yeah?
I believe Jesus Christ did die for my sin, and we don't believe Prophet Muhammad as a prophet.
Okay, it's fine.
Either we believe
which part of his
Allah
life?
is God.
Okay, so which part of his biography did you have a problem with?
Sorry?
Which part of the biography of the? You said you've read his biography, yes?
No, I have read some of the parts of his life on the internet from Sahih Bukhari.
Okay. So which parts of his life did you have a problem with?
Yes, we can discuss in coming to a 3 minutes if you don't mind. But just first, I want to know your opinion. Why should I take him as the best person ever walked on the face of earth? If you don't mind, please.
Okay. So he's acting like he's genuine. We all know the question. Come on, we all know. we know which part of the life of the Prophet you've seen on the internet. But anyway, I'm not going to go there. Right now, we know where you're going, but we're going to play the game. All right. So why should?
It's not game.
Well, okay,
you have said it's an arena for discussion.
Time. You think this is not the first time we play this game? Anyway,
so I am discussing.
I know.
If you're not comfortable, then you should have not come on live.
Yeah. All right. You've already come with a preset that he's a false prophet. Standard. Yeah. You've already.
No, I'm not saying.
No, but we know that. We know that. Anyway.
I should study the life.
We're going to play the game. We're going to play the game. All right. So, Yemeni, why should we as Muslims? Why do we Muslims believe that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was one of the greatest men who ever existed?
That's question. Yeah, right. This is the question.
Okay, Bismillah. So the reason we believe that he is one of the best men, well, the best man to ever walk the face of the planet is because of the way he conducted his life with regards to the message that he came with. When Rasul walked the earth, he abided by everything that God has commanded, to the extent that his wife Aisha radiallahu anha called him the walking Quran. This was something she said about him, i.e. he lived God's law to perfection, and he was successful in every aspect of his life, whether it came to worship, whether it came to familial life, societal life, financially, economically, rulership, politics, judicial systems, you name it, he was good at it, right? And he did this in a span of 23 years. Now, for a regular human being to master all aspects of life in that sort of time is not doable, especially when you look into the seerah and you see that Rasulullah was also commanded to stay up the night to pray. Now, us as human beings, regular folk, we don't, we can't function properly with a full 8 hours sleep. But he, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he would stay up half the night, third of the night, sometimes the full night, and he would be in worship. And throughout the day, he would continue to do as he's meant to do. He had 11 wives who he dealt with fairly and managed to uphold successful marriages with 11 women. This is something that men today cannot do with a single woman. And it takes a lot of mental ability and physical ability to be able to do that and to empathize. The fact that he was called the most, the trustworthy and truthful one, this was a title that he had from a very young age prior to prophethood. So this is something that was well known about him. He was always honored, right? And we can see this in his early life. And it continued even with his enemies trying to kill him as he preached Islam. One thing they couldn't do eventually was lie about him. They tried it at first, but they realized that it was also dishonorable to lie about him and smear him. This is something that they eventually stopped doing. So he had.
Can I just share something to support you, Yemeni, if you don't mind?
Sure.
Just to support what he's saying. Time, just relax. So the question is asked, why do we Muslims believe that, right? Well, I'm going to add to that by telling you what non-Muslims also believe. A Christian, yeah. This is Michael H. Hart. He wrote the book World's 100 Most Influential Persons in History. And here's some of the things. He put Muhammad as number 1. He put Jesus at number 3. He put Paul at number 5. And put Sir Isaac Newton number 2. But here's what he says. In recent years, Michael H. Hart ranked the noble Prophet Muhammad number 1 in his book. And this is what he said. My choice of Muhammad to lead the list of the world's most influential persons may surprise some readers and may be questioned by others. But he was the only man in history who was supremely successful on both the religious and secular levels. Of humble origins, Muhammad founded and promulgated one of the world's great religions and became an immensely effective political leader. Today, 13 centuries after his death, his influence is still powerful and pervasive. Michael,
I have read this.
One second time. He also says the Bedouin tribesmen of Arabia had a reputation as fierce warriors, but their number was small and plagued by disunity and interscene warfare. They had been no match for the larger armies of the kingdoms in the settled agricultural areas to the north. However, unified by Muhammad Sallallahu for the first time in history and inspired by their fervent belief in the one true God, these small Arab armies now embarked on one of the most astonishing series of conquests in human history. And then unprecedented achievements. In fact, it's the driving force between the Arab conquest. He may well be ranked as the most influential political leader of all time. Nothing similar had occurred before Muhammad, and there is no reason to believe that the conquest would have been achieved without him. We see then the Arab conquest of the 7th century being continued to play an important role in human history down to the present day. It is this unparalleled combination of secular and religious influence which I feel entitles Muhammad to be considered the most influential single figure in human history. So you said you've read this, yeah?
Yeah.
So you've read that. So your question, so you've read that. You know that why he's been classed as the most influential man that's ever existed. He was supremely successful on every level of life, whether as a wife, whether as a husband, whether as a warrior, whether as a diplomat, whether as a leader, whether as a trader, whatever he did, he was successful at. And you ask us why we believe he's the greatest man? I smell fragments, mate. Go on, carry on.
My question is very, very genuine, because when I go into Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim and books like this, which are the authentic sources of the Islamic world, I see some very different stories about Prophet Muhammad. I will give you a few examples.
What do you see?
Yeah, I'm going to give you some examples, which I'm really disturbed of it.
Time.
First,
before you continue, time. Before you continue, we know you're going to do the David Wood playlist. So what I want you to do now is go to your greatest thing that disturbs you. The thing that you see and you say, there's no way I can accept this guy. because of this thing. I don't want to hear a list. I want to hear look at your list now, and I want the most thing that you can see on that list that you think, wow, no way is this guy who we claim to be. Go on.
Why you are offended of the list? Even I have not given you so far. I will give you from your sources, not from my own studies or from my own perception.
Listen to me.
Let me give my sum of the objections.
I told you when you came on the stream, you got a loaded gun. So what I want you to do now is fire your best bullet. Yeah? Don't take us for fools. I smelt your insincerity long ago. But I want to now know what you think you have in that gun. So I don't want a shotgun. I want one bullet that's the most, your killer blow. If imagine you're on Call of Duty and you got one bullet, I want that bullet, man. I want the thing that knocks out Islam. Give me that one thing.
So is this arena not for discussion?
No. Give me your worst thing you've seen in the Bible, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, that makes you believe there's no way is this guy a prophet of God. The worst thing.
I'm giving you few.
No, I just want one. The worst one.
Oh, why you're forcing me? I'm just discussing few things about the life of Prophet Muhammad.
It's my show, and I want the worst thing you got. Because I know you're insincere, so I just want the worst one you got, mate. If we can't respond, I'll let you ask another one. No worries.
Okay, it's up to you. Did he not marry the adopted wife of his adopted son?
Do you know something? I wish I'd have wrote that down on a bit of paper and gone like that.
Why are you laughing? Okay, did he marry or not?
Time. Do you know how long I've done this? I knew you were coming with Aisha.
No, I don't know. This is my first time I am talking to you guys.
Yeah, time.
I don't know.
You're not.
Excuse me. I am ready to.
We know exactly what you were coming with.
Learn from you. Okay, that's your experience. I have no doubt on it. Did he not marry the wife of his adopted son?
Right, ask your question.
I give you a question. Did he not marry the wife of his adopted son?
Oh, whoa, what? Did he not marry the ex-wife of his adopted son? You're
talking about Zainab.
No, I did not say ex. I said, did he not marry the wife of his adopted son?
No.
No? So,
no.
Sahih Bukhari says, is this wrong?
No, it doesn't.
Then, what's the solution? It is in the Sahih Bukhari that he did marry to... sorry?
You read...
He's referring to Zainab.
One second. I know he's talking about Zainab. No, but he said she wasn't Zaid's ex-wife. Yeah? Is that what you said, isn't it?
I did not say ex. No, I didn't say ex. I said, did he not marry the adopted son, the wife of his adopted son?
No.
Okay. Can you please explain the event?
Yes, he married the divorced wife of his adopted son.
Okay, is this something a best man can perform?
What?
Is this something we expect from a best man he can do? Is this an example of a best man?
Yes.
To marry the wife of his adopted son.
Listen. Okay.
I'm asking. Don't be offended.
Okay, listen. One of the most noblest things a man could do when he's in the position the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was in was to marry a divorcee. He could have married anyone he chose. But he chose to marry a lady who'd already been married, a divorcee. Usually there's a stigma attached to divorcees. So I don't see what the problem is with the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ marrying Zainab. No issue whatsoever.
Serious moral issue.
What's the moral issue?
He married to the wife of adopted son.
No, he didn't.
He was not the adopted son of Prophet Muhammad?
Oh, you listen. You're beginning to bug me now. All right. Do you have a problem if Zayd divorced Zainab and then the Prophet ﷺ married her? Do you have a problem with that? What's the problem?
Because Zayd was the adopted son of Prophet Muhammad. Is this not true?
1 second. Zayd divorced his wife and the Prophet ﷺ married her. Do you have a problem with men marrying divorced women?
I have a problem with the relationship of Zayd with the Prophet Muhammad.
No, do you have a problem with men marrying divorced women?
Sir, you're not answering my question. I have a problem with the relationship of Mr. Zaid with the Prophet.
Do you have a problem with men marrying divorced women?
No.
You should have a problem with it as a Christian. You should have a huge problem with it as a Christian. Because in Christianity, a woman who gets married after being divorced for other than sexual immorality is adulterous. So you should have a massive problem with it. Because Christianity will condemn that woman. So if Zayd divorced his wife, no one could marry her.
In Islamic perspective, I have no issue. But this is not my question. My question is this. What was the relationship of Zayd with Prophet Muhammad? Don't go into circles. Please come on to the point.
I'll say it again to you. I understand your problem. Because as a Christian, you cannot marry a divorced woman unless she was divorced through sexual immorality. We know that.
I have no issue.
Right. So
my question is this.
You just misread the hadith, bro. You've just misread it. All the Prophet did, all the Prophet did was marry a divorced woman. That's all he did.
But the scenario is this: that woman was the wife of his adopted son. That's a major problem. Exactly. Even the ex.
Why is that problem?
Ex. When she was married to a Zaid, she was like a daughter of a prophet.
Why?
Is this not true? In a relationship.
No, not
if I have a son and my son married to a girl, then that girl is that girl is like my daughter.
Not when it comes to adopted sons, no.
Sir, it is true.
What?
If I have a son and he marries to a lady, then that lady.
I'm going to lay it out, and then I'm going to let the boy speak, and then I'm going to kick you out. All right. So, listen. An adopted son in Islam, from our paradigm, from the Prophet Muhammad's paradigm, is not the same as a son. The Quran makes that clear. Right? So a son is not the same as an adopted son. Okay. So the wife of an adopted son is not prohibited in marriage to somebody.
If you call someone son, we believe that Prophet has accepted him by his whole heart as a son. So he cannot marry his ex-wife. His ex-wife is his daughter. That's a very serious problem. It's a serious moral issue. And we cannot say this person as the best person ever walked on the walk of earth. How can you take this, sir?
I'm disturbed. I'm really disturbed, right?
Honestly.
Is it worse to marry the ex-daughter-in-law of a prophet's adopted son, or is it worse to marry the mother of God?
Who did this?
Joseph married the mother of God.
There is no mother of God. You are wrong.
What is Mary?
Now you are switching to the Bible. You want to twist me in the Bible.
My question is simple. I'm attenuating to your moral and ethical standards. Just to be clear, your moral standards come from the Bible. That's what you said earlier. So I'm trying to meet your moral standards. So I'm asking you a question. Listen carefully. I'm asking you a question. Is it worse to marry? Is it worse to listen to my question? Is it worse to marry an ex-daughter-in-law who is divorced of a prophet's adopted son, or is it worse to marry the mother of God? You're muted. I didn't mute you.
I muted him.
Yeah, I need him to understand the question. If you can marry the mother of God, I think that's a perversion. Can you imagine you go to Thanksgiving dinner and the husband of the mother of God is there and the ex-husband is there at the same time? I would be confused by that personally.
Okay. Now you're asking me a question that Joseph married to Mother Mary. Okay, he married to a lady called Mary.
The mother of God, yeah.
And Christ came through her.
The mother
this is your
of
objection.
God, right? My objection is that the objection is that Mary is considered, according to the historical church, the Theotokos, the mother of God.
So are you objecting on Joseph? My concern is listen to me.
I'm objecting that
listen
Joseph can marry the mother of God. Yes, that's my concern.
I get your point. No, let me give you answer. When I joined the arena, I said you Muslim claim that Prophet Muhammad is the best person ever walked on the face of earth, not the Joseph.
Yes.
Okay, we cannot compare Joseph with the Muhammad.
No.
Hang on.
I have to do this.
Let me give you.
We're not doing that though.
Let me explain what we're doing. You come here with a principle that you're trying to apply to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which once more, as a Christian, you ignore when it comes to your own belief. You don't hold the same standard to the people in your own religion. Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you a very simple question. Yeah, because I want to break down your claim completely now. Right. In Islam, I'm going to mute you now, yeah? In Islam, is an adopted son the same as a son by blood? Is an adopted son the same as a blood by son? Let's just break it down. Right. Forget what you think. Forget what you think. According to Islam, according to our paradigm, is an adopted son the same as a blood son? Right, you're unmuted.
Okay. But the fact is this, either you believe it or not, if Prophet Muhammad declares that as a son.
I'm asking you, is an adopted son the same as a blood son? As a biological son? Are they the same?
Then we have to go to the words of Prophet Muhammad.
Are they the same? Is an adopted son the same as a biological son?
I'm giving you an answer. You are not listening. You are not going to listen to my description. We believe that Prophet Muhammad will never lie. If he said he is my son, listen to me, listen to me. If he said he is my son, then we will take him as his son. And in coming future, he cannot marry the wife of his son. If he does this, it means that he has married to his daughter.
Okay, I'll say it again
then
to you.
Prophet has to check his moral grounds. But
I'll
he
say it again
very
to
miserably.
you. I'm going to say one more to you, then I'm going to let a philosophy loose on you. All right. So I'll say it again to you. An adopted son is not the same as a biological son. The clue is in the word biological and adopted.
Okay.
Right.
No problem.
In Islam, according to Allah, according to the God of Abraham, yeah, the adopted son is not the same, and there's no problem marrying the ex-wife of the adopted son.
Okay, that's your moral standard.
No problem.
Will you follow that example or not in your life?
Whatever
My last
your
question.
standard is,
No, I'm giving it to you. I go by you. I go by you, sir.
Whatever you
will
feel,
you do this in your life or not?
Yeah. Whatever
I'm asking you.
Think, whatever you feel is irrelevant.
So you have no answer.
You understand?
You have no answer.
Can I say something? Can I say something?
Let you go on him now, yeah.
Please. Will you do the same thing as your prophet did?
We can't adopt in Islam, so I wouldn't have an adopted son.
If in case you adopt someone, can you marry his wife?
If what?
As your prophet did?
If I had an adopted son, I wouldn't have an adopted son.
In case you have.
But Islam doesn't permit me to have an adopted son.
Sir, it means you cannot follow your prophet.
What?
Can Abdul Rahman go? I want to see where this goes. I'm actually quite curious.
I kind of want to just end it. In the sense that, look, you're coming here, you're saying that this thing is wrong. We disagree. Okay, so where do we go from there, right? So we disagree. Do you have, so right now you have to, like, I don't know, based on some like common ground between us, you have to reason your way to showing us that it's wrong. But then you just saying, "Oh my God, you believe that's wrong." You just appealing to incredulity is not going to work. Like you just saying, "Oh my God, you believe that's wrong." You would do that. The answer is going to be yes and yes. Sorry, you believe that's right, and you would do that, as in it's not immoral. We're just going to keep saying yes. We don't think it's wrong. You think it's wrong. So we could just shake hands and walk away. As in, we could just fine. You could. You don't have to accept Islam, right? But what do we do from here? Like, how do you bridge that gap?
No, I have got your point. You people have no problem with it. So you have
you have a problem. We don't have a problem. So end of discussion.
Should I give you the other question?
No, we asked you a question in return. You asked us a question, we answered it. You don't have to agree to the answer, but we gave you an answer. So now the question we put to you is it morally acceptable to marry the mother of God?
Mother of?
The mother of God. Is it morally acceptable to marry the mother of God?
Yes, it was morally acceptable.
So if Mary got divorced,
disagree.
We disagree on
Why?
this. So why is it
Why?
morally acceptable to have the mother of God have two husbands?
Because he was not the biological son. He was born from a single parent.
He's not
That's
the
a simple
biological
answer.
son.
And he was born from single parent. That's the main
hold on,
question. The main part.
Hold on. Was
Main
the
part
adopted
is
son
this.
was Zaid the biological son of Rasulullah?
No,
The
he
answer
was
is
not
no.
biological
So
son.
then, according to your logic, it's not doesn't matter. Thank you. You've lost the argument.
But you did not hear me properly. I'm
we
saying.
heard you. We heard you directly. He's not the biological.
Are you laughing on your prophet, sir?
Thank
you are
you.
not brave enough to answer my question.
I answered your question. I'm very open about it.
Give me time. Give me time to refute you.
You already
It's a
agreed
tough
with
day
me.
for you. Seems like a tough day for you guys.
Yourself. Okay, thank you.
Seems like you are struggling a lot.
Time.
Thank you.
Time. Do you think it's morally
Seems like you are struggling a lot.
Time. Do you think it's morally acceptable to marry a divorced woman?
In my religion, if you talk about Christianity, we cannot marry to a divorced person.
So,
but in your religion, you can do that.
Okay, so if there's a woman in an abusive relationship being abused by her husband, what's the solution for her in your religion?
Go into the Bible. It says that if woman does adultery, her husband can leave her.
No, listen to my question. A woman is in an abusive relationship. She's being abused by her husband. What is the solution for this woman in your religion?
She can take separation for a time being.
She can take separation. Can she get married again?
For a time being. No way. Separation doesn't mean divorce. It's a separation for a time being in order to rectify the relationships again with the same person.
So she's got no escape from this abusive husband.
She should pray for her.
While he's beating her in the head,
doesn't the Bible tell the wife to obey her husband? Doesn't the wife tell doesn't the Bible tell the husband the wife to obey the husband?
Yes,
so if abusive husband, can she disobey her abusive husband?
If the husband is doing wrong thing with the wife, he's abusing her.
Where does the Bible say she can? Where does the Bible say she can disobey her abusive husband?
It says in the Bible that love your Lord with your heart, with your wisdom.
Where does it say? Where does it say an abused wife can disobey her abusive husband?
No, it doesn't say exactly with the same words.
All right,
you have to take out the spirit from the Bible.
So what does obey your husband
overall
mean?
teaching? You have to calculate the teachings overall. You cannot exactly match the words.
Time. What does obey your husband mean?
See, if the wife is correct and husband is wrong, of course there will be a conflict. In that scenario,
does the wife have to obey her husband or disobey her husband, according to what you believe?
Obey according to the law of God. If the husband is saying go and steal something, you cannot do that. It is contradictory to the Bible is commanding everyone to obey God.
Where does the Bible
everyone to obey God?
Okay.
Everywhere.
Oh, okay. So a woman's in an abusive relationship. She's being beaten up by her husband. She's being physically and emotionally abused. Yeah. And there's no escape for this. Her life is stuck with this man. Yeah.
There are phases. There are phases for a relationship. If you are going through such scenario, you can take separation.
What's the solution for this woman?
Where's the Bible?
Can this woman ever have children?
The Bible will not give every detail of everything, similar scenario with Quran, but you have to go with the traditions and with the solutions which are given.
So let's imagine a scenario, yeah? I just want to understand how it's... See, here's the answer. Here's my solution, my point I'm making. My point is Islam has a solution for everybody. Every situation that occurs in your life, every scenario, Islam has a solution. Christianity doesn't. So here's my point. You've got a young girl.
Your thoughts.
1 second. You've got a young girl. She's married to a guy. Yeah. On her wedding night, he starts beating her up. On a wedding night, he starts abusing her. And for the next 2 years, he abuses her. And she doesn't have children with him because she knows if she gets pregnant, he might beat her up. And is there any solution for this woman to ever have children?
No.
No. That's your religion.
Immoral. How can you believe
How
that?
moral is that? That's so immoral.
I didn't exactly understand your point.
And in your Bible, if I'm not wrong, if somebody rapes a girl, Yeah, he has to pay shekels to the father and marry her. Is that right?
I have to see the verses about this.
Yeah, don't worry, the verse is there, mate. I wouldn't say it otherwise. So you've got a rapist now.
I cannot declare anything right now.
Let's go deeper with your.
I have to go and see the verses.
Morality. Okay. Do you think it's right? Do you think it's right that a girl can be raped and then forced to marry her rapist, and she can never ever escape that marriage? Do you think that's right?
That's the biggest lie from Muslim sources about the Bible.
Muslim sources.
Yeah, like you people.
First of all,
Testament,
like you people. I'm challenging you, like you people.
Let's set the trap. Okay. Do you think that's moral?
Okay, listen to me. Listen to me. Now you are going to Bible.
Time.
What about your prophet? What he did?
Time.
When he was marrying his daughter, where was the morality?
Time. Do you believe that a woman who is raped should be forced to marry her rapist and can never escape that marriage?
I told you, I don't believe this. I have to go to the verses.
Is that moral or immoral?
Sir, I don't know from where you're quoting this. I have to go into the Bible and check this out.
Is that scenario moral or immoral?
This is not moral.
It's not moral.
Yes.
So if we show you in your Bible where God commands this, will you concede that your Bible is immoral?
Just for reference, Deuteronomy 22.
I will study this properly, and then I will say something.
No, what I'm saying, no, listen to the caveat.
I will study properly. I will take the scholar opinion about this, and I will speak to my church father, and I will speak to pastors, and then I will say something. I cannot say anything blankly.
Let's just imagine the scenario. Let's say you speak to your church
father.
Scenario,
you have given me scenario, but my scenario is still pending.
Time. Let's imagine you go through.
It's time to address my scenario, sir.
You speak to your church father. You read whatever.
Of course.
Exegesis.
I have to make a search into it. Now, if you give me something, I have to make a research onto it.
Hamza, I've shared the passage.
Deuteronomy 22, verses 28 to 29.
There we go. Read that. Do you want to read it, Time? Read it.
Which one is?
It's on the screen. Read it.
No, I am on cell phone. Okay, I can maximize
I'll read it. This is in Deuteronomy 22, 28, 29. If a man finds a young woman, a virgin, who is not engaged, and he seizes her, and he has sex with her, and they are caught, then the man who lay with her shall give to the father of the young woman 50 shekels of silver, and she shall become his wife, because he violated her, and he is not allowed to divorce her during his lifetime.
Okay. So my question is this: did the woman shouted here?
Is that moral?
I'm giving answer. I'm giving answer. It's moral. I'm giving answer. Giving you reasons about this.
It's moral.
Listen to my logic. In that scenario, the girl did not shout for a help. It means that she was involved in that case with the man.
He seizes her.
Act. But she did not shout. She did not call for help. It means that she was with the man.
Shout? Why does it say she didn't shout?
If you go to the next verse, you will see that. If you go to the next verse, you will see that. If you go to the next verse, you will see that. Don't play games with me.
If you put a knife or gun to her head and she doesn't shout,
can't she scream?
Perfectly fine. Does she have to
scream?
Does she have
the
to
verse
scream?
is about the intention of a lady.
Intention of a lady.
If the lady is intentionally with a person engaged in that act, then she has to marry with a person. But if this is a rape, then the man will be punished. This is according to Bible in the next verse. Don't play games, Hamza.
Time. What does he seizes her mean?
Seizes her mean that he forced her.
He forced her to have sex with him.
Yes.
I mean,
what does that mean then?
I mean, this is astonishing because you came on.
My friend, go to the next verses. You will find the solution there.
I put the next verse.
You're laughing because you have
the next verse up. I put the next verse up. It's 3 verses in front of you.
Where is it?
Where does it say shout? I put the next verse up. Where does it say she has to shout?
This is the same verse.
I literally added another verse to it. I had Deuteronomy 22.
No, on the screen it's the same verse.
Previously.
No,
I added the additional verse to it. I added
the same verse,
third verse to it. I added the third verse to it. What next verse? Tell me what the verse number is. I'll add it. I promise I'll add it. Tell me the verse number.
Okay.
Tell me what's the verse number you want me to add to it.
That's the end of the chapter.
It is. Hamza, Habibi. Habibi, you gave it up. You gave it up.
I'm reading.
Oh, sorry.
I'm reading. I'm not going anywhere.
All right. What's the next verse?
Don't you worry about. We have so many things about your prophet.
What's the next verse?
We will turn him red. No problem. No problem.
The one who says rape is moral has so many things on the Rasul. Really?
Where does it mention?
She has to shout. I added the other verse. Tell me what verse to add to it, please. Let's do some tahrif.
Okay.
Come on, tell me.
I have to see the 5 verses before this and 5 verses after this. I have read somewhere in the Bible, but you cannot laugh. You can properly hear my explanation, and then you can.
Five verses after is the next chapter. So you're saying it's not in this
chapter?
No,
not in this chapter. In this chapter. In this chapter, I think there is a verse in this chapter.
It entered verse 30.
Time. You have a Bible in front of you.
Sorry?
Do you have a Bible?
No, I don't have it right now.
You're a Christian, man. Where's your Bible?
I'm sitting somewhere in this place. I don't have a Bible. I have at home.
Okay. What verse does chapter 22 end at?
I have read it somewhere, and I have to find it. I need to be very honest. If I find it, I will get back to you about this.
No,
but the verse you have given to me, it says that the woman is involved with the man. So is the reason man is supposed to marry with the woman. That's it. The rule is clear. So there is no objection on it. It's a big slap on the face of Islamic people like you who claim Bible as a wrong book.
See, here's your problem, Time. Here's your problem, Time.
What's my problem?
There is no verse after this.
No, I don't have a Bible right in my hand. I can get it to you.
Time. Chapter 2 finishes at verse 30. There is no verse afterwards.
My friend, I don't have a Bible right in my hand. Else I can give it to you. I'm just watching your screen.
Time. Listen to what we're saying. Chapter 22 finishes at verse 30. There's nothing afterwards explaining anything else.
Okay. You are in the arena and I can read the verse and I will give to you in the text box. No problem. I will go and pick up my Bible. It's not an issue. But my issue is still pending.
Just so you understand, there is no verse after it. Yeah. That is the end of the verse. That is the end of the chapter.
Not after, maybe before it.
All right, we're done.
But this is not the way to defend your prophet.
Yeah. We defended our Prophet Muhammad, alhamdulillah. We explained to you that adopted son is not the same as biological son. We've got no issues in Islam marrying a divorced woman. Obviously, in Christianity, you have this problem of not marrying divorced women unless they've been sexually immoral. Therefore, you've just concluded that a woman who's in an abusive marriage has no recourse, no solution to her situation in Christianity. Christianity fails her. Jesus fails her in Christianity in this point. We also then took you back to the Old Testament where God tells that if a woman is raped, she has to marry her rapist. And there's no recourse for that woman. There's no solution for that woman. She's stuck with this guy. She has to obey her husband, this abusive guy. No escape. This is Christianity. Christian ladies, you need to go check this stuff out. We're not making this up. And you see what his response was? This is a Muslim argument. This is not a Muslim argument. This is your Bible, mate. This is your Bible presented to you. Subhanallah. And this is a warning to anybody who's, especially a Christian, who comes on here banging on about morality. Get ready for the mirror. That's all I'm going to say to you. Get ready for the mirror. All right. Alex Dobrik. Okay. Truth Seeker.
Well, hello, Hamza. Can you hear me?
This guy's a really nice guy. He was on the warm-up earlier. And I told him to come back to have a chat with you boys.
Yeah, like I still pretty much have an argument, which probably Hamza knows by now. It's about the gruesome evil in this world. Like, why would a God that is much more merciful than a mother would allow like the rape of children, the genocide of millions, and maybe all this evil in this world. And like my conclusion from this, and I wish that you prove me wrong, is that either he's impotent, like he doesn't want to do anything, or he is just evil. Like if suffering is meaningless, then what's the point of it? Like it seems like
just before the boys answer, didn't we agree earlier that suffering is not always bad?
And not maybe suffering. Yeah, maybe I'm talking about gruesome evil. Yeah, some
no,
suffering.
Didn't we agree though? Because you just said
I agree.
I forgot. I'm not going to allow that. Didn't we agree that suffering is not always bad? Did we agree that?
Yeah. My mistake. What I'm trying to say is that too much gruesome evil in this world.
No, okay, that's another question. But you
does
can't.
God like care, or is he
Truth
evil?
seeker, you can't add stuff on that you backtracked on.
Okay.
All right. So let's be genuine here. Let's be sincere here. You already conceded suffering with me in the warm-up is not always a bad thing. Yeah.
Yeah, suffering sometimes.
Good man. I think Abdurrahman, do you want to deal with this first?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you. So, what difference does it make if, like, the amount of suffering, right? So you think is it bad because it's a lot of suffering? So if it was less, would it be okay?
My main problem is that you guys, like, I'm posing here a challenge. Okay, the challenge is, does the God that is, let's say, described in the Quran, does he really exist? Like, he says that he's much more merciful than a mother. Why would he allow?
Did you hear my question though? Because I'm afraid I'm going to ask it again, but you're not going to hear it. Oh. Did you hear what I asked?
Yeah, you can ask again. Yeah, I did hear it.
I said, like, why is it like the amount of suffering or evil that matters? So if it was less, right, would you be okay with that? And how much less does it need to be?
Like, I really don't know. I really don't. But
no, because you see, because the collective suffering, really. Nobody. It is because you said all this suffering. I mean, if it's not, then you need to say what's relevant. So, is it just the existence of any suffering? Because,
like, yeah, like, why does, for example, genocide in a whole scale, like population scale, happens? Or why does God allow rape of children, and he sees it, and he's all powerful, and he doesn't do anything about it?
So it's not about the amount, right? So even if this just happened once in the history of mankind to one child, your argument would stand, right? So No, I can hear you. Are you there?
Yeah, like, it seems the stream just frozen or something. Probably my internet, I don't know.
Yeah, so I'm asking, so if it was just one child, right? And the rest of the history of mankind is all good, like, everybody's happy. Would your argument still apply?
Well, yeah, of course.
So even if it's one person, right?
Like, if God, I'm not just talking about.
So it being entire populations doesn't matter, right? So if just one person is killed in a bad way, I mean, that's just as bad as an entire population, right? Because if the issue is suffering, and evil might be broader than that, but if the issue is suffering, then, well, nobody suffers that collective suffering. I mean, suffering is a first-person perspective thing, right? So it's like, I suffer my suffering. I don't suffer. So any suffering is going to be bad. As in, even if one person is killed, that would have been bad, and that's just as bad as, like, entire populations being killed in that sense, right?
Well,
okay, so then it's not about why all this suffering, it's about why suffering in the first place, right? It's like, why any suffering? But then you already agree with Hamza that some suffering is good, so then it can't work like that.
You're really dodging my argument, to be honest.
No, I'm not. I'm deconstructing it. So you already agreed with Hamza that some suffering is good. So right now your argument isn't clear.
Like,
it's not why all this suffering, because we just agreed that the amount of suffering is irrelevant. Like, and it's not any suffering, because you agreed that some suffering is good. So what is it? There has to be something in between. So it has to be any kind of... Let me help you. I'll help you make the argument. Because
this is how so much unnecessary amount of suffering in this world. Why should I believe in a
So
God.
don't go back to so
more...
much, because we already agreed that it's not about the amount. Don't go back on the point, right? So you just need to say there is unnecessary suffering, right? So your issue is that there is gratuitous suffering. There is suffering that has no purpose. You have no issue with suffering that has a purpose. You have issue with gratuitous suffering that has no purpose, right?
Yeah. Well, it happens on a massive scale too. Like,
but you just agreed with me that it's not about the massive scale.
Yeah, especially on a massive scale. Like I'm talking about from the empirical.
Regardless of the massive scale, massive scale.
Okay.
We don't believe that any suffering is gratuitous.
Okay. So
you need to start from the point of view where that the suffering indeed is gratuitous, or you make some kind of maybe like, I don't know, like probabilistic argument where you say that it seems like it's more probable for this suffering to exist if God didn't exist, right? Something like that. But then if you're just gonna say it's gratuitous, like, you know,
I didn't say that
we don't agree that it's gratuitous. We don't agree that it's pointless.
I'm not an atheist, okay? I'm not really an atheist, okay? I'm not the type of guy. God does not exist. I'm not a materialist even. I don't accept dialectical.
Okay, but you're making an argument against the existence of, like, you know, the classical understanding of like a good God, right? Like you're saying God could be evil.
Like if God is there, it's probably quite actually the source of all evil, right? And the source of all good. Do you agree on that?
Don't make different. Look, don't, because this is going to be a different argument right now. Right now, your issue is that if God existed, he would stop suffering, right? But you don't want him to stop all suffering because you don't have an issue with all suffering. You're saying he needs to stop gratuitous or pointless suffering.
Okay, but I like let's say like there is some sort of suffering that allows you to grow. Do you agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
But gratuitous, like let's say like massive
pointless suffering, right? Yeah.
But massive genocide on a whole entire scale, like what like the Nazis did, what the Jews did to the Palestinians, and all that, and why does that? Like, why would a God that is much more merciful than a mother allow that to happen, especially the Muslim population, right?
But you're saying in order for the suffering to basically have a purpose, it must make you grow stronger in some way that is like visible, like in this life, as in it needs to make you grow as a person in this life. Because
I really can't say that. I'm not saying that only. Like I'm just talking about suffering that has no purpose and has very much done so much damage.
Okay, assume God exists for a second, just some thought experiment, right? Because it's not clear what like form of the argument you're making. But then assume God exists, right? So if God exists with all of his properties that we believe in Islam, then and suffering does exist, then well, if you have certainty that this God exists, suffering wouldn't really be a problem with you, because then you have certainty that all of this is for a purpose, and then that there's going to be the scales are going to be balanced, and that there's not going to be any wronging, and everybody's going to get what they deserve, right? So if you truly know this, suffering isn't going to really look like a problem for you. So it must be, the problem must be different. It must be that you're looking at it.
Let me help you, man. Because we had a conversation earlier, so I extracted what he's refusing to give you. All right. So his point is basically this: why did God stop Hitler? There you go.
No, I didn't say that. I really didn't say that. Okay.
That's exactly really... No. You don't have to say.
Okay. What did God like? What did God?
You based no.
Okay. Why would God, for example, you believe in the prophecy?
Here's what we look. I had a half an hour conversation with you already in the warm up, right? And what we ascertained was this: why does God allow people to do bad things? That was your point. Why doesn't God stop people doing bad things? That's what your point was.
Yeah.
That was your point in a nutshell. So
why would a God?
And then I
extrapolated not exactly.
1 second.
Why would a God much more merciful than a mother? Like,
right. So 1 second. So then, what I just said was true. Why didn't God stop Hitler? Yeah.
Maybe why didn't he stop the Jews from taking Palestine, for example?
Well, no. Let's use Hitler because it's a pretty universal thing that apparently he murdered 6 million Jews in gas camps and whatever, and God could have stopped that. And remember, these Jews are supposed to be worshiping God anyway. So why didn't God stop Jesus? Sorry, stop Jesus. Stop Hitler. Stop Hitler committing this atrocity. That was your point. So don't act like it wasn't your point, because it was your point.
I didn't talk about Hitler, to be honest. I didn't bring any. You brought Hitler into the topic.
It's in the warm-up, mate.
Okay, well, what about like rape of children, rape of
Okay.
10-year-olds and 9-year-olds.
Okay. When the Catholic priest was raping that little altar boy, why didn't God protect the little altar boy? Why didn't God stop that priest doing what he did? Yeah, fair enough.
I'm not trying to be a snowflake here.
No, but let's roll with that. Let's roll with that. Yeah. Why didn't God stop his Catholic priest raping a little church altar boy? Fair enough example.
Kind of, yeah. Like for
All
example,
right,
but this is not really.
That's for you now.
Yeah, but I kind of, yeah. So that just still fall in the same category in the sense that. So do you agree with me? What's your name? Do you agree with me that?
Okay. What is your name anyway? What is your name?
Well, why does my name matter?
It's okay. It's okay. So
I'm gonna start calling you Jürgen if you don't tell me your real name. All right?
Do you agree that if the suffering had an ultimate purpose, if there was if it wasn't pointless, because I thought this was a point you already agreed with, right? So if the suffering is not pointless, you do not have a problem with it, right?
Yeah, like suffering that makes you stronger. And I didn't talk exactly just about suffering. I talked about evil, grotesque evil that very much destroys.
Yeah,
leaves nothing behind. See.
Yeah, but every time you're talking about evil, you're I think taking it back to things that involve suffering.
What I see, what my worldview see is that morals are only very much the excuse of the weak. Do you agree or do you don't agree on
your
that?
worldview?
Like the strong takes what he wants, and the weak doesn't take anything.
Let's not. Okay, so if that was the case, then this would be a bad world, right? But are you thinking of this from a theistic perspective? Like, are you looking at like Islam, like or theism or Islam, and you're saying, okay, you guys make these claims, but these claims are inconsistent with what I see. You're saying they're inconsistent with reality.
Israeli occupation of Palestine, like ain't that very much a big example of it? Like strong.
Yeah, but if it has a purpose, do you have a problem with it?
Like, is there a purpose?
I don't share your if you're saying, because I thought you said that not all suffering is bad. If you're not saying that, I don't share your intuition, about suffering.
Yeah, I understand.
That it's this evil thing that I think suffering can be good, it can be bad. I don't think suffering is something that is necessarily bad. When you think of the global picture, a cosmic picture, I don't think suffering is, even from my own experience, I don't think suffering is necessarily a bad thing. So you have to be more specific, and I think when you the most specific you can get, and the most the strongest argument that atheist philosophers normally make in this regard is an evidential argument of evil, where you talk about pointless, gratuitous suffering. So it's about suffering, and it's about suffering where there's no point to the suffering, right?
I'm not an atheist, but
regardless, so it's the substance of the argument that matters, not who you are, right?
I don't even accept dialectical materialism. I don't at all.
That's not the point. The point is it's the substance of the argument that matters. So if you're yeah. So normally theists would respond in terms of let's say theodicies, that God has reasons to do this, and then they have theodicies that basically try to provide an account for why suffering exists, and there are different kinds of theodicies. Or there's a skeptical theist response. Yeah, or there's a skeptical theist response where what God has a purpose that you don't know. Whatever the response normally is, you at the end of the day, what it tries to establish is that the suffering isn't pointless, right? So is your argument that basically it seems to be the case that suffering is pointless, so theism is inconsistent? Or
it's my argument is that grotesque evil exists on a whole massive scale. The strong gets what he wants, weak dies or perish, and very much this I conclude from this: either God doesn't care, impotent, or just evil. He likes
or there's a purpose to everything that you're seeing.
Maybe there is a greater wisdom, but that's what I came here for, the greater wisdom.
Yeah, but let me tell you. Let me honestly tell you the way I look at this, right? So this as evidential problem of evil, and there's an atheist philosopher named Graham Oppy, and he talks about this in a very interesting way that I think I agree with, right? So the way he talks about this is in terms of arguments, is that he's like, it's not like you're going to give an argument and this argument is going to establish a worldview for you. It's not like you're going to give me an argument right now about evil and that I can't respond to, and then okay, I'm going to be an atheist. Or I give you an argument about the existence of God and you can't respond to it, then you're going to be a theist. No, because normally we look at these arguments through the lens of our worldviews. There's so much you have to establish within your worldview that basically acts as a tool in your assessing of other worldviews or of other arguments.
You're right.
So what Grandma says about something like this is that, well, you can have a theist who doesn't, let's assume there's no answer, because I've been trying to reason with you, but maybe it's my fault. Maybe it's just maybe the language I'm using or something. But then let's assume the theist can't provide an answer. Well, the theist doesn't really need to in that sense. Like the theist would be like, he has strong reasons to commit to theism apart from this argument, and the fact that he believes in God. He knows that God does have a purpose for this suffering, and maybe it can't be given to you in some kind of like strictly logical fashion that will refute the argument, although I think it can. But then if you don't want to take that route, and what I'm telling you is, even if we assume that you don't get an answer, you are still looking at this through a specific metaphysical lens. You have a worldview, and you're assessing it through that worldview. You're not looking at it in a vacuum. Yes, so you're not like neutral, and you're looking at it looking at this argument in a vacuum, and on the basis of that, you make up your mind. No, you're analyzing it through a worldview. And honestly, I think there are deeper metaphysical questions that assess, that basically determine what a person's worldview is. Although that doesn't have to be true for everybody, as in different people have different priorities, right? So the point is that you can take many angles to this. The angle I was trying to take with you is that, like, look, we don't see it as gratuitous, we don't see it as pointless, and we can go down that route. And the responses there are standard in terms of like the theodicies or skeptical theism or other things that within the specific problem of evil, but that will get too philosophical. that like the problem of evil itself assumes specific moral theories, like meta-ethical theories and normative theories that you don't have so much that can be questioned about the assumptions within the argument. But you don't need to get that complicated. What I'm saying is, the other side of things is to look at these arguments within in a broader sense, as in you look at this through the lens of your worldview, and on the basis of your prior commitments you assess it. And I think that it just needs to be a longer discussion than that, and your prior metaphysical commitments are going to involve so many things.
I understand.
I do. But you said you believe in God. Do you? Like you said, do you believe in? You're not an atheist.
I do. We do know that, let's say, consciousness can transcend space and time. And that makes me like, there is this quote by Carl Jung when he says that like visions of the future is something that all the human race believes in. Okay, so I was an atheist, but when he said that, I stopped being an atheist.
Good man. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? What if God created somebody and he gave them free will? And then God says that anybody who suffers at the hands of somebody else is free will, unjustly. Yeah. On the day of judgment, the day when you'll return, then everything will be balanced out. Everything will be recompensed. What would you think about that? So, if you suffer injustice temporarily, you'll be rewarded eternally.
Maybe it depends on your worldview, to be honest.
No. God, on that worldview.
Like,
on that worldview.
Like,
so God says,
your question is like, that God is there and telling us.
Listen.
And, yeah.
Just listen, please. I said, imagine a scenario. Yeah. So imagine a scenario where a creator creates creation, gives that creation free will, guides them to do what is right and tell them to stay away from what is wrong. If somebody suffers at the hands of somebody else who's doing the wrong, then that creator says, I'll recompense you. I'll balance out on the day of judgment, I'll balance it out. So if you received injustice in this world, the temporary world, I'll reward you eternally in the next. What would you say in this scenario about this creator?
If he appears, shows himself and says that, yeah.
No, he doesn't appear and say that. This is what he's saying. Doesn't have to appear.
Yeah,
this
like
is
if he
this
if
is
it
his,
comes
this
from
is the scenario.
yeah, like if there is no good proper evidence for that, like,
Not
why should I believe it?
Listen, Jurgen, pay attention. In this scenario, what type of God would this be?
Okay, so you want me to answer specifically for this scenario, huh? Yeah, it would be like fair, and then I don't know, man. Like if there ain't really any answer for this, it seems like a trick question. Can you hear me?
Would you say that's just?
To be honest, I really can't answer that question. I have to think about it first.
Would you say it's merciful?
I don't think it's really reasonable for a god like to create something, allow it to see all kind of suffering, and then very much just simply reward it.
So
like, why would he create something from?
Do you remember the example I used earlier, where I said that a baby gets an injection to inoculate it against some disease as a baby, and that baby just sees this metal spike being put in their arm, and all they do is look at that doctor, think, "You're putting in my arm," yeah, right? But the parents, are the parents called cruel for allowing this guy to put a spike in their baby's arm? The people say, you disgusting parents, allowing that metal thing to be pierced through the skin of your baby?
Like, to be honest, like you really got out of the track. Like you really lost the whole argument. Talk about something that is really not related to the argument.
No. What we're describing is temporary, a temporary thing. Compared to
but how do you know, like,
right? So the point here is
how can you be sure of your faith? Like,
alhamdulillah, this is something, another question, man. Alhamdulillah. So the paradigm we operate in is this: imagine this world and all of its suffering, yeah, as that needle. And we're thinking, my God, you're sticking a needle in my arm. But the one who's putting the needle in your arm knows why. Knows there's reason behind what's being done and what's occurring. Yeah?
Yeah, I agree.
So just as a baby may not be able to comprehend why is this guy putting a spike in my arm, maybe we as human beings may come to a point and think, well, why suffering?
This analogy is fallacious, man. This analogy is fallacious.
Why is the analogy
this is an association fallacy.
What do you think the analogy is teaching? What do you think the analogy is teaching?
Yeah, but this is an association fallacy. Like, you're associating.
No, what do you think the analogy is teaching?
Okay, we're talking about, like, you think, what is the great wisdom? Like, why can't we just...
What is the analogy teaching? You said it's fallacious. What is the analogy teaching?
You're trying to say, like, God, all this suffering, or all
forget
this...
God. Forget... No. The analogy is not that. The analogy is demonstrating that something temporary compared to something long-term. Is it relevant? Did you think that baby remembers that injection now? No.
No, I understand, but...
Right.
How would you be sure? How would you be sure that you will go to heaven after that?
Sukkah. I'm going to call you Jurgen if you don't shut up. Right, listen. Right? We're told in our paradigm that on the day of judgment, when Allah, those who've suffered in their life gratuitously, yeah, Allah will dip them in paradise and ask them, how did you suffer in this world? And they'll say, we never suffered anything.
Like, to be honest, Abdul Rahman had much more reasonable response. Like, he said, there is so much.
Alhamdulillah, of course he has. Unfortunately, this is the arena, and we bash it from every angle so you understand, so it goes in. Yeah? So I'm trying to make it
I understand it. I understand his argument.
You didn't understand what Abdul Rahman was saying to you, to be honest.
No, I did. Like, he talks, like, there is some people, like, very much in...
Honestly, bro, I kind of said the same thing. Okay, what he was saying right now is he's just telling you that it's not gratuitous in the sense that there is a purpose, and then that the suffering at the end of the day is not.
And he says the same thing. He says the same thing, but his analogy, like, has nothing to do with very much my argument. See?
Abdul Rahman,
no, but he's just trying to simplify it for you, huh? Sorry.
Yeah. Would you say my analogy of a baby getting an injection, thinking what's going on here? But the wisdom of the people giving the injection, knowing how it's going to benefit, is the same analogy of this world being effectively that needle, and Allah, God Almighty, knowing the bigger reality.
So he's just telling you that the baby might be thinking that the suffering is pointless, right? But then we know that it isn't, so the analogy stands. It's not no analogy is perfect, it doesn't perfectly capture what you're trying to say. But then the point he's trying to make is that suffering can seem to be pointless while it isn't, and it can have a good end. I mean, that's the very basic point he's making.
Yeah, I understand, but how can you guys be so sure of your faith? That's the question. How can you
question.
know
That's
that
a different
Islam
question, though.
That's
is 100% true? What if Islam is not true?
That's a different question, but the 100% true. Okay, look, that's a different question. Right now, you can't. So what you're doing is, so if I'm trying to critique like Christianity or atheism or something, and I'm telling a Christian, look, you have this internal incoherence, right? And they give me a response, and then I come back and say, wait, but how do you know Christianity's true? I mean, it's irrelevant to you're attacking a specific point. The question is whether we can provide a coherent answer to that. That's all there is to it, really.
Okay, so
unless you're making a different argument.
Okay, so Abdurrahman, what is the best book you can recommend for me to read about like grotesque evil, like the big picture? Like like from the Christian perspective, I recommend.
I don't give like book recommendations like that on the fly, because I don't know. It depends on what you've read and what you know. So I don't. You can message me and I can.
Robert Clay had a decent argument about why there's so much suffering. Like men are depraved.
I'm not familiar with it.
Maybe it is the men are depraved argument, something like C.S. Lewis used in the past.
C.S. Lewis is basically related to what I was telling you earlier, that nobody like really suffers that collective suffering.
Yeah, but
then
the problem
book recommendations are not going to work because I don't know what you know and where you're coming from, so I'm not going to recommend.
I got an idea. Because Yogan's such a good guy. Why don't you go on your Thought Adventure podcast? I think that'd be a brilliant place for him. Have you heard of Thought Adventure podcast?
No.
All right.
I know Daniel Hakikaju and you guys and Hamza.
No, Thought Adventure podcast will help you answer these questions. This is what they're geared up for this. How do they get in touch with you, Abdurrahman?
Well, the Thought Adventure podcast here, you just need to search on YouTube, Thought Adventure podcast, subscribe, and you can call into our whenever we have streams. But you can reach me on Twitter, Abdul _now and NOW. You'll find me there. And yeah, and
you remember that. Now.
Yeah. So yeah, you can reach me there, and so you can message me there, or you could like join one of our streams. Either way, and you could ask me that book recommendation question, but then I'll have to have like a back and forth with you before I give any recommendations.
All right, man.
Okay.
I said you were too nice in the arena, to be honest.
Yeah, I didn't want to be like I don't like some of the guests here. Like some of them are completely respectable. Like I really know you, Hamza, from your debates with Christians, and I hate Christians, to be honest.
You hate Christians,
and I enjoy when you like obliterate them, like that guy, that Polish guy, that bald Polish guy. Like it was so frustrating. If I was you, I'd probably punch him in the face. Like
You'd make him suffer. On that note, we're going to let you go. All right, take care, dude. Would you like to add anything, Yemni? Sorry, you didn't really get you involved in that particular one.
It's just a lot of people, unfortunately just jump the gun. It's like, the question of morality in general has no basis if you don't ask the key question, where does it come from? So that should have been, when he finally got to it, and saying, well, why do you believe that your faith is the one to be followed? That was the question he should have asked first, and then asked the question of why does Allah, allow suffering to happen? So he got it the wrong way around, but alhamdulillah, it was dealt with.
I don't think he'll go wrong going on Thought Venture podcast, to be honest. I think it'd be brilliant for him. All right. Cloud9. You muted. Alex, you muted. Cool guy.
Hello.
Hello.
I have a question.
So first of all, what do you believe? Are you a Christian, atheist, agnostic, Hindu?
Agnostic, ex-Muslim.
Agnostic, ex-Muslim.
Yes.
So you left the truth for you don't know. Okay, come continue.
Yeah. I'm searching for the truth, though. I think that's a better description. I have a question that why in the Quran there's certain verses that where God threatens people for simply being skeptical of the afterlife, for example. Like, okay, I'll give chapter 13, verse 5, where...
All right, 1 second. So what do you think chapter 13, verse 5 is saying?
It says...
no, I'll read it. Don't worry. Okay. What do you think it's saying?
It's people being asking about whether the afterlife exists or not, and God just threatens them instead of providing...
all right, let me read it then. Just 1 second. Bear with me a second. Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Now, if anything should amaze you, O Prophet, then it is their question: when we are reduced to dust, will we really be raised as a new creation? It is they who have disbelieved in their Lord. It is they who will have shackles around their necks, and it is they who will be the residents of the fire. They will be there forever. Okay, so you're saying the ones who
just to be clear, Hamza, this is incorrect. The chapter begins speaking about those who already disbelieve.
Okay, okay. Let me start from. It's true. Let me start from the beginning then. Alif Lam Mim Ra.
But Hamza, sorry, because the verse on its own really doesn't need, it's a rhetorical question. I mean, it's not it's not like it seems like these guys are sincerely inquiring.
I know.
It's just them making fun of the
No, but the good thing is we don't worry about these guys necessarily. It's other people watching that may hear this and think, wow.
Yeah.
All right. Alif Lam Mim Ra. These are verses of the book. What has been revealed to you, O Prophet, from your Lord is the truth, but most people do not believe. It is Allah who has raised the heavens without pillars, as you can see, and established himself on the throne. He has subjected the sun and the moon, each orbiting for an appointed term. He conducts the whole affair. He makes the signs clear so that you may be certain of the meeting with your Lord. And he is the one who spread out the earth and placed firm mountains and rivers upon it and created fruits of every kind in pairs. He covers the day with night. Surely in these are signs for those who reflect. And on the earth there are different neighboring tracts, gardens of grapevines, various crops, palm trees, some stemming from the same root, others standing alone. They are all irrigated with the same water, yet we make some taste better than others. Surely in this are signs for those who understand. Now, if anything should amaze you, O Prophet, then it is their question: when we are reduced to dust, will we really be raised as a new creation? It is they who have disbelieved in their Lord. It is they who will have shackles around their necks, and it is they who will be the residents of the fire. They will be there forever. They ask you, O Prophet, to hasten the torment rather than grace, through there have already been many torments before them. Sure, your Lord is full of forgiveness for people despite their wrongdoing, and your Lord is truly severe in punishment. So I think
there's no threat here. There's no threat here. That is the point. Nothing in the ayah supposes a threat, and they're not threatened because of the question that they ask. It is because they already disbelieve. So I don't think you understood what the ayah was saying to begin with, in all honesty. Where's the threat here?
I think it was clear that it was a threat, though.
Where is the threat, though?
Okay, so, but I mean, it's all over the Quran where people...
You don't play that game.
Where's the threat here?
It said people will ask this question about whether the afterlife exists or not. You know, I'm sure everyone on earth has asked this question before, but...
No. It's being specific about. He's talking about the ones who are saying, bring on this. It says in the next verse. These are the people who are
asking to be punished. Hasten the punishment.
Yeah, where's this fire then? Where's this hellfire? Show us. God, strike me down if you're real type people.
It's people who already disbelieve. It's not that they've been threatened with hell because they asked this question. Rather, it is God is saying that these people who disbelieve, they will go to hell. That's what it's saying. There's no threat here.
But
it's a promise, not a threat.
But the question is, for people who are skeptical of the afterlife, why doesn't God respond with an argument proving it exists? You know, it seems
he already responds because he tells you what he's given the prophet. He's revealed the Quran, and in the Quran you find the signs of the truth.
Did you not read? Did you not read the verse before where Allah says, "Have you not noticed how all these vegetation receive the same water, yet they all taste different"?
Yes,
Have you not questioned?
But my point is, if the Quran is actually man-made, you know, assume it is, then I wouldn't expect it to prove, you know, something like the afterlife exists. But if
your assumption is irrelevant. Hold on.
But that's true, though.
Hold on. You've came with the accusation that the Quran threatens people who ask about the hellfire. We've disproven that. I know you've come to argue about some assumption that you've had. In all honesty, brother, I think the collective IQ of this ummah has risen since you've left. In all honesty. So can you tell us what the main reason is why you left Islam, and can we address that, please? Rather than these ridiculous side things which are irrelevant.
No, I mean, it was, there wasn't a really reason I left. I was young and I saw videos and stuff, you know, then assumed it was wrong. So, but I'm...
How old were you?
I went
How old were you when you left Islam?
12.
12?
Yes.
How old are you now?
I mean, I don't want to say in public though, but I'm a
how old are
teenager.
you?
I'm a teenager. I don't want to say in public,
Yeah,
but I'm a teenager.
No disrespect, but you're too young, and again, we're doing the same thing. We're bullying a kid. I have to let you go, dude. Take care. We can't bully little kids on stream. Anyone else want to respond to that idea? But
I just wanted to say, so when I was telling you earlier that it's a rhetorical question, I wasn't talking about him. I'm saying the verse itself. Like, I mean, you need to understand things in context. I personally, I wouldn't, but maybe that's because I'm more familiar with the Quran. I don't need to go to any context to see what the verse is saying. I mean, the fact that the question is being asked doesn't mean it's being asked by a sincere skeptic who's like genuinely trying to inquire. It's not like somebody's coming to genuinely and sincerely trying to inquire from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, hey, is this really what happens when we die? And then he's like, okay, you're burning in hell. No, that's clearly meant as just a rhetorical question from them, meant to make a point that this, what you're saying about, you know, us rising from the dead is ridiculous. So it's disbelief. It's not like a genuine inquiry. So just because the question is there and it can be asked sincerely doesn't mean that every instance of it being asked is sincere. I mean, and I think it's clear from the context that this is not a genuine case.
It doesn't seem like he understood the context, though. Like, I honestly think he got this on some like non-Muslim website or something and thought it was some intelligent claim. I don't think he thought about it sincerely. The name Cool Guy, bro, read the Quran, try to understand what it says. Retake your Shahadah, critically think and study.
He didn't say he was 18 or 19, did he? He said he was a teenager.
He said he didn't want to say. That's what I remember.
And then he said he's a teenager.
Yeah. He also said he's a teenager. Yeah.
So you say you're a teenager, you're under 18, mate.
Yeah. No one under 18 says. No one over 18 says I'm a teenager.
No one.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, whistleblower.
Had a change of name, it seems.
It's going to be PA.
Is it philosophy? Oh, no. Not this guy.
I told you. Honestly, that guy, man, he sneaks in every single stream, man. Don, are you working? You know how to work a mic now? Don.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Is Islam the religion of peace?
What do you mean by that question?
I'm asking you, do you think Islam is the religion of peace?
Do I believe it's a religion of peace? Definitely.
If Islam is the religion of peace, then why does it allow the killing of apostates?
Okay. What was your question again? Is Islam a religion of pacifism or is Islam a religion of peace? What was your question? I forgot. I misunderstood it.
If Islam is the religion of peace, why does it permit the killing of apostates?
Okay. When you say this term religion of peace, what do you think you're saying? Or what do you think I'm agreeing to?
You tell me.
Well, no, you asked
the question.
You must understand your own question. What are you asking me?
what do you think peace means? What does peace
That's
mean
what
to
we're
you?
asking you. You asked that
You're
question
coming
with
with
that term. So what do you think that term meant when you asked it? Did you think it meant pacifism? You didn't remove him.
This is the thing, you see. You're not going to get away with stupid questions, loaded questions like that. Because you don't understand your own question, you have to leave. Anyway,
I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but police officers in many countries are referred to as peace officers. Are they always peaceful? No. But by their actions, they bring about peace in the community, and that sometimes necessitates violence to control a people or situation. So a peace officer isn't peaceful, but he brings peace with his actions and statements. Thank you.
Yeah. See, my answer, if someone asks me why I don't believe religion is Islam is a religion of peace, I will say, if you become a Muslim and you follow the teachings of Islam, you'll bring peace to your life. Alhamdulillah. You'll bring peace of mind. You'll be able to relax your mind. You'll be able to relax your soul and your spirit. And you will have sakina. You can have tranquility within the teachings. If you don't follow Islam, you're on your own. You're on your own. If you live in the UK, Boris is the one telling you what's right and what's wrong, man. Hey, Boris, good luck with that one. Anyway, Ramesh Shrugan.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah.
You reminded me of someone's gone like Britain's Got Talent, just stood on the stage, and everyone's like, "Wait for you to do something," and you're like, "Yeah, what? What you here to say, my brother?"
I want to defend Hinduism.
You want to defend Hinduism, so you're a Hindu,
yeah,
and you want to defend Hinduism. Which part of Hinduism are you here to defend?
Which part? There are a lot of parts. Which part do you want?
Reincarnation.
What's there to defend? It's a fact in Hinduism. They believe it. What's there to defend?
Why do you believe reincarnation? So, just so I understand reincarnation, do you believe human beings can become animals in their next life?
They can become anything. What's there?
All right. And what's the deciding factor as to what they become next?
Their actions.
So how, let's say, for example, somebody reincarnates as a squirrel. Okay. So we've got a squirrel now. So someone's died and they've reincarnated as a squirrel. What actions can this squirrel perform to achieve some better next incarnation?
No, as a squirrel, it will live its life and die until it becomes as human. It won't get liberation. Yeah.
So a squirrel doesn't reincarnate when it dies.
Yes, it will take some lives to become human again. Yeah.
So when the squirrel dies, then what does it become?
For that, there is a big book. 18 Puranas are there. You have to study. You can study with that. I cannot explain in this 2-minute video.
Okay,
yeah.
I'll say it again to you. When a squirrel dies, how does it determine what it's going to get next?
As a squirrel, what it should have to do, it should do that. That's all.
Do all squirrels do what squirrels do?
Mostly, but some may.
What would you define as a naughty squirrel? What would you define as a bad squirrel?
I've seen this. You had asked this repeated question. What's your obsession with these squirrels? I don't know. You will.
Listen, I'll say it again to you. How does a squirrel? What makes a squirrel a good squirrel? What makes a squirrel a bad squirrel?
A squirrel is a vegetarian, right?
I'm sorry?
A squirrel is a vegetarian or a non-vegetarian? I mean, is it a carnivore or a herbivore?
A squirrel.
Yeah. I'm asking you.
Well, it eats nuts.
Hmm?
It eats nuts.
So it's a herbivore. So it eats vegetarian, right? Yeah.
It might eat insects. I'm not sure.
So it
So
will.
I'll say it again to you. What's the
Okay.
criteria for a squirrel to be a good squirrel? And what's the criteria for a squirrel to be a bad squirrel?
For that, there is a big book. It will take 30 minutes to explain. Once I said it already, you are asking
So you're
again and again
saying
the same
there's
question. Yeah.
just so I understand what you're saying to me now. There's
It's
a
not
big
about
book.
squirrel.
1 second. All right. So you've got a big book that tells you what will determine how an animal will be rewarded or punished.
Not
in its
only
next...
animal, humans and everything.
No, but humans have free will. Humans can choose and refuse. You're saying animals can become humans. Therefore, what determines what a human and animal becomes? Let's make it easy then. What will determine what human and animal is?
If a man kills a squirrel in the past life, the harm he has caused to the squirrel, he will be born as a squirrel again.
No.
So
You're missing the point. You're missing the point. Do you believe animals can become human beings?
Yes, after very long type of cycles of
Right.
life.
And what will determine what type of life they're going to have based upon their actions as a squirrel?
Animals have a compulsive cyclical lives. They will live, eat, they do all natural life routines, and they will die.
All right, so
What's their
what's the
good in
determining
that?
factor then? So what's the determining factor of reincarnation from an animal to a human being? What will determine the type of life you're going to be reincarnated?
Only the person who is in his last life can surpass that animal instincts. Other animals just live and die. That's all. They behave according to their normal nature. That's all. Yeah.
Okay, listen to my question.
Okay.
You believe animals become humans, yes?
Yeah.
What type of human? What will determine what type of human they become?
Based on their karma, what they had done in past life, this life it will give chance for the liberation. The liberation is
Right. So the animal will be judged on how it behaved, yes?
Animal will not be judged. The person who is in the final life of liberation will be behaving like other than animal. That's what reincarnation
No,
tells.
you just said karma will decide what human being you become.
Yeah.
So the karma.
There are
So the
three
karma,
gunas: sattva, rajas, tamas.
So the
according
karma.
to this,
Okay. So the karma, according to the animal, is that what you're saying? The animal's behavior, its life, the karma will be based upon that.
Not because of this animal in this past life, but the human life he has born before, some lives before that. According to that, he will get as a punishment as an animal. Only liberated beings who is in their last life will get an animal. That's a rare 1% chance to pass that animal instinct. That's what I am telling you.
So
Again,
what
you
you're
are
saying is
asking same
animals don't
repeated
become
question.
humans then? Is that what you're saying?
What?
Animals don't become humans.
Animals in their next life, it has very short life, 2 years, 20 days, 30 days. They will die. Again, they will become human.
And
It's a very short path.
What will determine that next existence?
That will be determined by past human life he had before
It's past
thousands
human
of
life.
years.
So
Yes.
animal life is irrelevant.
Animal life is mostly punishment, only for the liberated beings. I mean, who is going to get liberation, the ultimate moksha? They will be getting moksha and they may behave a bit other than animals. I mean, the animal law. I mean,
So you're saying there are some animals that exist today that think like a human?
no, not human. They will just surpass that animal instinct. That's what I am saying. Not everything is human, not everything is animal. Just they will just above these cyclical events. Animals are more compulsive than men. Men has a free will. A man can surpass these cyclical events in some way. He cannot escape completely. Animal is completely in that. Only some liberated beings may get that chance. It's very rare.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Liberated being gets what?
Moksha, the liberation. He will ultimately be, his soul will be ultimately be united with Paramatma, the God, the ultimate reality. That's what Hinduism believes. Every sect, everything, they may believe this avatars or not. They ultimately believe this liberation, moksha. Yeah.
So there is no deciding factor on how the animal behaves. It's based upon his human existence prior.
Animal life mostly don't determine his journey towards moksha. It's very rare. That's what I am telling. It may, but it will be
What's moksha?
0.001%.
What's moksha?
Moksha means the ultimate liberation. That means
I'm not talking about ultimate
this
liberation.
is called normal world. Okay. For that, you have to know this Hinduism basic philosophy. There is Purusha and Prakriti. The Prakriti means the living world, all this world, everything. To be liberated means you have to know that we are not this body and not this mind. We are the soul. We are Brahman. We are part of Brahman. That's the goal of life.
What caste are you
if
from?
you realize that,
what caste are you from?
Caste. I can say it will be open category.
No, what caste are you?
It's open category according to government. You don't know the subcaste. There are thousands of it, but mostly
What category? What you called?
Open category. There will be no reservations for us in government.
Does that mean you were a bad boy or a good boy previously?
I think I am good. I am having a good life now.
No, prior though. Were you a good boy or a bad boy?
I mean, in past life.
In your past life, yeah.
That's the journey we have to know. We can't know that. For that, only all these Hinduism books, all these are for that, to know past life or to know a way for liberation. Not that everybody knows everything Hinduism. It's not one book, man, like Quran or everything. Okay. It's just 6,236 verses of Quran. If you know that, you will be very clear. But in Hinduism, people are a bit confused because there are a lot of books. That's all.
What did you just
say? That means what?
What did you just say about Quran?
6,236 verses are there in Quran. Is the number right? Is the number right? That's why a Muslim can be more clear than Hindu in his belief. That's what I said. I'm not criticizing or anything like that. He can be more clearer. That's all I can say. A Hindu will be a bit confused because there are 11 darshans. That means one is Yoga Darshan. Through yoga, he will pursue the world. Through Nyaya Darshan, he will pursue the world. There are 11 ways.
I'm just a little bit confused because I think he was asking you about like being a squirrel or a hamster, and you said it depends on whether or not the squirrel or hamster was good. But then you said that it doesn't matter if the squirrel or hamster is good; it's how good they were in their human life.
I said that matters for a liberated beings, good or bad. Other normal humans, it will be just a cyclical life. They will born as a squirrel, they live for 1 or 2 years or something, whatever lifespan it is, and he will die, and again he will get a human life to get liberation. I mean, a chance for liberation.
Can he die as a squirrel and be reborn as a squirrel again?
If his karma determines so, he can. The punishment maybe if he had done many sins before as a human, he may born again and again as squirrel. That's a big phenomenon. You cannot.
Why is being born as a squirrel a punishment if a squirrel enjoys being a squirrel?
The chance of getting knowledge that you are not body and you are not the mind and you are the part of Brahman is more with humans. That's all. As an animal also, yes, that's all.
So the difference
just a chance of knowledge. That's all. Yeah.
Okay. So being knowledgeable is the fundamental difference between being punished as an animal and liberated
first let
as
me
a
define
human.
knowledge.
Yeah, one second. If that's the case, if that's the case, I believe the vast majority of Indians are not educated. Would that be correct?
It's the case before 20 years, but now the literacy rate is improving. 70.
It's improving. Okay,
yes.
So would you say that God punished Hindus by making them illiterate 20 years ago?
20 years ago? No, 200 years ago, 500 years ago, Mughal, British, everything, they implemented some dumb caste system, which is not at all there. There is just varnas. There are 4 divisions.
Listen
they
to
made
my
it
question.
some 1,000. Yeah, I'm telling that.
No,
they
my question
messed up
is
Hinduism. Yes.
Oh, they messed up Hinduism, but was that a punishment from God? Because do you consider the lack of education to be a punishment from God?
Of course. Our elders did a mistake. Yes.
So
they
then,
did a big mistake.
The British coming to India was a punishment by God.
Not coming to India was punishment. They divided the caste system. That's why they divided into 360 princely states. They are completely political. So, if they are united, British can't win us.
So Queen Victoria invented the caste system?
No, they manipulated the caste system. What is meant to be?
You just said the British invented the caste system. Now you're saying that they manipulated.
No. When did I say they invented the caste system? They messed up the caste system. I didn't say they invented.
Let's ask the chat. Let's ask the chat. Let's ask the brothers on the screen and the chat. Did he say the British invented the caste system? That's what I heard him say.
Okay.
Chat. Did our nice Hindu friends say? Maybe you forgot. Just a little bit.
Yeah, maybe in flow. Yeah.
Yeah, no, the chat is saying you said invented.
Okay, it was by mistake. They didn't invent the caste system. They just misinterpreted the caste system.
So your lack of knowledge just now, was that a punishment by God too? Okay. That would mean that you're a bad boy, wouldn't it?
How can I be a bad boy? I'm educated. I have good everything. I am good here. Okay, how can I be a bad boy? Okay,
Hamza, I hand it back to you, Hamza.
Abdurrahman or Yemeni, you got anything to say?
You don't have this concept and you are going to see this through Islamic lens and you say this is dumb. And
I'll make it easy. I'll make my position easy for you, Ramesh. I'm a Muslim. Okay. I believe Islam is true.
Yeah, okay.
Which means I don't believe anything you believe.
Yeah, same. I don't believe everything you believe.
I don't believe anything. Well, okay, so that's our position. Okay.
Yeah, my position is that too. Hinduism is the only true religion. That's all I believe. The rest are all beliefs. I believe like that.
So I'll let Shabir.
Shabir, I say Assalamu alaikum. How are you? I'm sorry. How are you, brothers? Are you okay? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Hamza.
I said we've got this Hindu for you.
Oh. Oh, I've had a long day. Okay.
I'm gonna go pray. Speak to you soon.
Yeah. Okay. Is that Ramesh bhai?
Hello. Hi.
कैसे हो मेरे भाई? ठीक हो?
मुझे हिंदी अच्छा नहीं आता, इंग्लिश में बोलो.
कोई बात नहीं. It's okay. Ramesh bhai, you know, I mean, he's just told me that you are a Hindu.
Yes.
Yeah. Can I just ask you, what kind of a Hindu are you? Which particular god do you worship?
Agama culture. It's called Panchayatanam. Like 6 principal gods we worship.
You got 6 principal gods that you worship.
Yeah.
And what caste are you from?
Open category, I can say.
Open category.
Yeah.
Is that scriptural?
No, it's government divided.
So what is scripturally, what are you?
Scripturally, I am, can I say, the Varna system is gone, so I may come under Vaishya or Shudra, I think. Maybe.
Okay. So do you? So you are a Sudra, you said.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Varna system
but
is
you
gone. Yeah.
I understand. But so you are not a Brahmin.
No. I will eat non-veg.
You are not a Kshatriya either.
No, not by caste. Yeah.
Right.
There are
Okay.
some people.
Is this a sequence of the caste system scriptural?
Only Varna system is scriptural. That's 4 divisions: Brahmin, Kshatriya,
Okay.
Vaishya, and
Yeah.
Shudra. Rest all
And
castes are fictional. They created according to time. Yeah.
Did you say they are not scriptural?
No, they are created according to time and according to God's worship and some cultural rituals. Yeah.
Okay, but Ramesh bhai, what I'm asking you
Yeah.
is the division, and we are, from what we understand, the division in the caste system clearly is prejudicial. You agree?
At first, it's not, but they made it prejudiced. As time goes on, they made some stupid beliefs to say that you are inferior, you are superior, and some things. Yeah.
Excellent. So what I want you to do is specifically tell me, what do the scriptures say about this division? What is the category of Brahmins? Are they considered the highest category according to the scripture?
Yes, but the Brahmin is not the person who is born in that family, the person highly educated, who has studied Vedas and who can teach Vedas and who spread Vedas. That's called a Brahmin. The person who will understand it as it intended. The person who will not misinterpret it. That's a Brahmin.
I understand. That's fine. I'm not asking you about it. What I'm asking you is that if I ask you directly, Ramesh bhai, you are a Shudra?
Yeah.
Are you inferior to the Brahmin?
No. I was inferior in knowledge, but as a physical strength, I am superior. For that, it's intended. Yeah. But then.
Right. What does the scripture say? I appreciate you are telling me what you personally think and how you think it may have come down. What I want to know from you is, scripturally, are the Brahmins superior to the Shudra?
No, they are not. I mean, for God, they are all same. But a Brahmin has more chance to attain liberation because he reads scriptures. He knows the methods to attain liberation. So he will live life according to Dharma. Yeah.
No problem, Ramesh. Again, I'm asking you, please try and make this distinction. I am asking you, scripturally, is the Brahmin superior to the Shudra? Now,
are you
when I
asking
say scripturally,
about
I mean
Vedas? Yeah, Smritis. There are a lot of books.
Yes,
according to what
you are absolutely correct. There are many scriptures. Many of them are actually just the writings of sages. We are aware of that. That's not my question. My question to you is, currently, with all the understanding that we have from the scriptures of the Hindus, are the Brahmins the superior group as opposed to the Shudras?
No. Now they are realizing it. Yeah.
No,
Scripturally,
I want you to
Vedas never differentiate that they are less, they are more. Yes. Vedas never differentiate it.
Excellent. So, can you tell me?
Determines that. Yeah.
That is fine. Now, can you tell me from the scriptures? I know this is a difficult question, perhaps. From the scriptures, can you tell me where this division actually was created? Was it sent down by one of the gods?
No. It's written by sages. That's all. Vedas were written by, each mantra was written by a particular sage, and a particular god will give it to him. That's what it's the way of Vedas.
Did you just say the gods didn't give that to him?
Yeah, the ultimate real, the God will say. So
no, Ramesh bhai, you are misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Sorry. Can I just apologize to cut you? I'm asking a specific question. The caste distinction that we are discussing, from what I just heard you say, you said that a sage developed these divisions. Am I right?
Sage never developed these divisions. People divided it so much, the sage will reduce it. That's what it happens. Because every time a Skruti comes, the society is so messed up. So to bring it in structure, they will make some laws like government policies against it. That's all.
Right,
Vedas
right,
are,
Ramesh.
everyone is there.
I think you are totally misunderstanding my question, and I will try and keep it as simple as we can here. I'm asking you a direct question now.
Yeah.
The caste system as we know it, with the Brahmins being the superior, whether it's through knowledge or any other reason, they are the superior one, and then come the rest of them up to the Sudras, okay? I am asking you, did one of your gods give you this division?
No, as you are asking that they are superior, that no god has said that they are.
Ramesh bhai, apologies. Again, I'll ask one final time.
Yeah.
The caste system that you have, where the Brahmins are the superior, whether it's in knowledge or any other reason, as opposed to the Sudras, did one of your gods directly give you this division? Yes or no?
No. Varna system was given by God.
Excellent.
This caste system, no.
Sorry, Ramesh bhai. Excellent.
Varna system
So what
was
you are
given by God.
That's fine. What you are saying to me then effectively is that this caste system is not from any one of your gods.
No, not caste.
It isn't. So it is a man-made distinction.
Yes, the caste, the thousands of castes, that was man-made distinction.
Yeah. No. There are subdivisions. Yes, I know. But what I'm asking you is the caste system that we are talking about, which the Brahman, who is highly knowledgeable, will tell you is from the scriptures. You are saying that is not the case.
No, that's the quality.
Okay.
The person's quality comes if he is called Brahmin, if he is well read,
yes,
and he is good,
yeah.
he is undistinguished between everything, then he is called Brahmin, not this by birth.
I'm so
people
glad.
group as Brahmins. Yeah.
Excellent. Now you see, Ramesh bhai, what you have effectively told me when I hear you carefully is that 99.9% of the writings that you possess, which are collectively the Hindu scriptures, are actually man-made. Yes.
Yeah, Rishi. Okay, man-made. You can say.
That's fine. That is fine. So what is it you are defending?
I believe it's the only true religion. It only makes sense. This is the only religion.
Excellent. That's brilliant. Right, Ramesh bhai, you just told me it is the only true religion.
Yes. Not
From
all
whom
true.
is this?
It's the truth that makes sense to me, not the
Now,
religion.
respectfully, Ramesh bhai, I don't want to take too much of the time. There are other brothers there. Yeah, but I will tell you something. I view the word religion a bit differently. Okay. However, I just said something to you which you may have missed. I said 99.9% of your writings are man-made. Okay, you agreed with me. You agreed with me. You agreed with me that the caste system, which is the most important thing that our Hindu brethren have in India, as a result of which a lot of how can we say discrimination takes place, as a result of which you rightly pointed out that the government had to institute laws to try and provide some form of equality. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm asking you, when you are saying that according to you the Hindu religion is the true one, despite you knowing that all 99.99% of I've added 99.99. I said 99.9% of the writings are actually the work of human hands.
No.
So
you are mistaking that. No, it's not human mind. That the rishis who had censored the Paramatma, the real God, they had written his words from them. That's what 99.9%.
Excellent.
Some people added it to manipulate it. That's what I am saying. You are just twisting this thing. Sorry, but you are respectful. But
that is fine.
You twisted it completely. Sorry.
That's not a problem at all. Thank you for trying to correct me. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, you right?
So that's all I want to say. I believe this is the only truth that's there. The rest are all beliefs. That's all I can say.
That's not a. But I'm asking you again, Ramesh bhai. Did you just make the admission that some of the writings contained within all your scriptures are the result of human hands?
Some mixed with Rishi's works. The things which are pure came from Paramatma. I mean the real God. They are mixed.
Yeah.
In the time
Okay,
course
I'm
of
going to
time
ask.
or misinterpreted.
Right.
Yeah.
Not a problem. I'll ask you once more, Ramesh bhai, just to clarify. I just said to you, from what you just said, you are making the admission that some of the writings contained within your scriptures are the result of human hands. Yes?
Yeah, some are mixed in the time. But we can
That is
know
fine.
it's fiction because there are 11 darshans. If you have to study
Yeah.
those 11
Yeah.
darshans to
Yeah.
say which is true, which is false.
Yeah, not only that, you look at the darshans, there's one important question with which I do apologize, Hamza, I've taken a bit more time. But after a long day, I thought, you know what, I must take it all out. Yeah, you see, Ramesh bhai, darshan ki baat, okay, you have used 3 times about the Pramatma. Yeah?
Yeah.
Now, the Pramatma is the ultimate God.
Yes. Ultimately, yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Now, let me so just a final question to you, Ramesh bhai. If you had a system which allows you to go directly to Paramatma, as opposed to a system which tells you to go through a few thousand, intermediaries before you get to Paramatma, which one would you prefer?
The direct one. And I
The
don't
direct
believe
one.
that Islam. Yeah.
Ramesh bhai, Hinduism doesn't have that, Islam does.
No. Hinduism has everything. Yoga. You can go through yoga. You can go through any way to reach Paramatma. Not this.
No,
You have to read all those. No. It doesn't function like that.
Ramesh bhai, again, I must ask you, I'll just repeat what I said. If you have got a direct line to Paramatma, as opposed to a line that requires a multiplicity of gods to get to Paramatma, which one is better?
No.
You agreed with
There
me.
is no multiplicity of gods. You can worship one God. Everything reaches to Paramatma. You can worship you cannot
that is
worship.
fine,
You don't
but
need
you
to
did.
worship God.
Yeah.
There is lot of
But you
liberty here. But don't mix this. We have to worship these 32 types of gods to reach Paramatma. No, it's not like that. You can pick one God. You will worship him.
That is not a problem. Thank you so much. But Ramesh bhai, you did agree that a direct line is better than anything else, yes?
No. I don't believe that. Every person
You don't
has his
believe
right
that?
to know it. Every person has his right.
That's fine.
To pick
Thank you.
You just said it. You just said, Ramesh. You just said direct way is best.
For me, not said. Some people like indirect way. You can't judge that.
Ramesh.
Yes.
Did you or did you not say direct way is best?
For me. I said for me is best.
For you.
Not for everyone. Yes.
For you, direct way is best. Why is it best for you and not everyone else?
Because I will get confused. But some people like to clear that confusion with lot of contrast. They will compare between Shiva and Vishnu. They will at the end realize they both are one and the same. Between two gods, they will compare both. Like that, they can understand it. You cannot get clarity by one god. It's just
Actually, Ramesh bhai, you know what you just said?
How many gods are there?
33 types of gods. 33
How many gods
koti,
are
they
there?
will
33
33 types of gods. 33
types
types.
of God.
Yes.
So not one
33
God.
koti gods. Not
doesn't the Vedas say there's one God?
What?
Doesn't your Vedas say there's one God?
These are manifestations of that God. If we
Of that
pray
God.
to
So how many gods are there?
one God who is manifested as millions of
one
ways.
God.
That's all. Yes.
So there's one God.
Yes.
But 33 types of that God.
Yes.
So all of these different gods are God.
Yes, they are all one and the same. That's called Advaita.
With the same attributes.
Yes, they are same attributes for different people. Yes. At the end, you will realize they are one and the same. That's the journey of Hinduism. That's all it says. To
Well,
reach that one God.
actually,
And that's not Allah. I can say this clearly. Yeah.
I understand, Ramesh bhai, but you know what?
Yeah.
From what Brother Hamza just asked you, you
Yeah.
just said they are different people. Different gods are different people. Is that what
Yeah.
you just said?
Yeah.
So, for example,
Different types of God.
you've got. Can I ask you? You've got
Yeah.
Shiva.
Yeah.
Is he a true god?
Yes. He is Vedic God.
Rama, is he a true god?
Yes. He is a true
Are
God.
there
He is
two?
avatar
Are
of
there?
Vishnu.
That's fine. Are there two separate gods?
As a form, yes, there are separate gods as a form.
Ramesh,
But
at this
there
point,
is
I'm going
one
to bring you an
formless God.
ally. This guy's a Sikh, a Hindu as well. You're a Hindu, aren't you,
Okay.
Seeker?
Okay, come on. Let's see.
Are you a Hindu, Seeker?
No, I don't believe in religion, but I've been from India, so I understand
Oh,
Hinduism.
you're not a Hindu. Okay, you can't help Ramesh then. Okay.
Can I ask a question just out of curiosity?
By
and then
all
you can
means, of
continue?
course. Not a problem.
This whole form thing, right? So are you also a form that at the end of the day is God? Because you said you were one with God.
Yeah.
So are you also a form that is in some sense God?
Until you realize you are not God. These are just forms.
Yeah, but in reality you are. Like you don't realize it, but in reality you're a form that at its core for you is God, right? At its essence.
Yes,
Right? So what's the difference between you and God then? And these other gods, if they're just
I
different
didn't
forms.
realize I am making debates that Hinduism is best. I am making all this. But if I know that I am one, it's the end of journey. That's
So
all.
once you realize it, you become another god alongside Rama
No.
and others.
No. There will be no form. You will be united in that ultimate reality. These forms, they already know they are God. I mean, they are one. But they take these forms according to certain purpose. So they will behave in certain way.
Yeah, but
If
you're just a
people
form
pray
too.
for
So you're just like them, as in
no.
you're all
Those
forms.
are Vedic approved gods. That's the mistake every people will make. Other religions will think that you can worship yourself. No, that's not. The
I'm
person
not talking
who
about
is
worship. I'm talking about the reality of who you are. You're just everything in creation is just a bunch of forms that, in its essence, in everything's essence, it's just God, right? So
yes.
really, in terms of like the reality of your existence and your essence, you're just like those other forms of gods who are forms of the one true God. It's just that you don't know that you are God.
This Ramesh Rujan is not God. The soul, which has no name, no form. It's just pure light and consciousness. That's God. That's what.
Yeah, and that's you in your essence.
If you say you, it will end. You cannot reach that part.
Yeah, but in reality, it is like you just don't know it yet because you're not enlightened enough. But in reality, you actually are just God, right? For you,
No, I'm a human. That's all. For now,
you're
I'm a
you're you're
human.
you're
Normal
God.
human.
You're God, and you have the illusion of thinking that you're a human. So you don't realize that you are in fact united with God, right?
Yes. Until
Yeah, there
we
you go.
realize. Yeah.
So you're just God having a dream, basically.
No, that's according to Advaita. This is not dream. This is the reality too. But the ultimate reality is God. That's all. You have to study the darshans to understand Hinduism. Otherwise, you will think it's dumb.
I think I'm
I
somewhere in
already
the
have thought
ballpark
it's dumb.
because
I
I
know
had
that.
caught on a few things you were saying, and it sounds a lot like something we have on our side as well called Wahdatul Wujud, and so it sounds
Maybe it's
like
in
you have this.
Sufism when in 1200 AD these two Rumi or his guru came to India. His sages has written some poetry according to that. It's when it has started that concept of Sufi. I mean, Sufism is there before that, but this concept united with God, this thing
Yeah,
came
but
when they reached India.
it's similar. It's similar in that so God is existence, and you have existence, as in you have God in you, and you're just a form that has
Yeah.
like a certain level of existence that's not really the pure existence, something like that,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
But at the end of the day, I think we've just brought your position to the fact that you believe you are God, right? And in that sense, so are all of us. Like there's no difference between you and
Yes,
me. We're
you.
basically
I believe you are God too. That's what I'm telling.
yeah,
Not
I
I
know,
am.
I know,
Yes, I am God.
I know.
That's all. I'm not.
So you're basically
Everyone in this
you're
world is
God.
God.
You're God, and you came on the show to prove to other people who are at the same time essentially that same God that Hinduism is the true religion from that God who is essentially all of us at this. Like
Yes,
right?
everyone in this world. Yeah, that's all I think. Yeah.
Brother Abdul Rahman, just to add to what you are saying, if according to the understanding that has just been provided, that we are all gods, where comes the issue of reincarnation?
For self-realization, until you realize you will be in this
No.
world.
If I'm a god, how can I have reincarnation?
For that, you have to understand the origin of world, how it started in Hinduism, genesis of Hinduism. Genesis
Brother
of
Ramesh,
world.
you just agreed with our brother Abdul Rahman that we are gods.
Yeah.
Are we gods?
Until you realize you are not, you are just Prakriti. You just
are we, right? It seems like
body.
It seems like, brother, you are backtracking. You just said 2 minutes ago we are all gods. You agreed with
Yes,
Abdul
the
Rahman.
soul is God.
Do you agree? Okay, let me ask it this way. There are 4 of us on this screen. Me, you, Abdul Rahman, and Hamza. Correct?
Yeah.
Tell me, yes or no, are we all gods?
Yes, if you realize you are God.
We are. If we realize we are all gods, there's no reincarnation, is there?
Yeah, there is nothing but God in this world. That's what it
No, I'm
says.
asking again.
There is only one.
If we are all for gods, and if we include Hanuman, if we include Ganesh, all of us are gods. Do we need reincarnation?
Yes, you have to realize Hanuman, they all know they are gods. So they will live one life for purpose.
Right.
They
I
are
think
born for that
respectfully,
purpose.
Brother Hamza, we are going to be unjust to Brother Ramesh because I don't think he's following the trains of thought here.
No. There are a lot of things you have to understand. There is Advaita, Visishta Advaita, Dvaita, and
I agree.
there are 11 systems. How can I explain with one thing? If you say one thing, you can say that I said it. You are just asking yes or no questions. Hinduism don't work like that. Yeah.
Ramesh.
Nothing works like that. You're right.
No,
Take care.
Hinduism
Thanks
never
for
works like yes or no questions.
All
If
right,
you
thanks for coming.
go through that way,
You did a great job defending Hinduism.
all the best.
Thank you.
It's not just that we're all gods, though. It's that we're all God, like the same God. Like we're basically yeah.
I know. I brought the same guy on again. Oh. Oh, Trilla. Is that guy, Trilla?
I am starving. I do apologize. I'm going to eat while I'm speaking to you.
Yeah, you eat while you eat. Don't worry about it. I always do that. Yeah, Trilla.
Hey, how you doing? Assalamu
Give me 2 minutes, yeah, guys.
All right, don't worry. Abdul Rahman will hold the fort. What do you want?
No, it's just 2 minutes.
Oh, you can eat. Don't worry. Abdul Rahman. Sorry, Trilla. What's your point?
All right, cool. I hope you guys are doing well today. Anyway, so look, if you wanted some clarification on the reincarnation point, right? Basically, from the Dharmic point of view, I come from the trail of thought of a Sikh background, so I kind of aligned with that kind of thinking. So when it comes down to reincarnation, just to clarify, you're basically reborn until you do it right as a human being, right? And then basically you will, end reincarnation, seek liberation through that. So basically, the whole thing about being reborn is just, you could say that's the punishment, as you guys have an eternal hell. The punishment for us is, and it applies to everybody, being reborn until you become a human being. And then you have the, you have the chance to act accordingly, act righteously, and become one with God again.
So you're saying when I die, I'm going to reincarnated?
If you haven't, if God deems so, yeah. If you haven't,
so you don't believe in a hellfire?
Well, possibly there could be, but it's not eternal.
Right. Do you believe in paradise?
Sure, but there would be one main one. We call that Sachkhand. That would be the main ultimate heaven. I think you have a name. You have a certain particular name for it as well. Yeah. So anyway, that's basically what we believe in accordance to reincarnation. I mean, quick Google searches would just, help you guys do
So
that.
you believe animals can become humans?
Absolutely, yeah.
And
And if anything, you were one of those animals, regardless whether you
what
believe
type
it
of
or
human you become?
Sorry, what type of human? Oh, that's again according to your karma. So based upon your previous life, if you had a previous life as a human being
Previous life
before,
as an animal or previous life as a human?
only as a human being are you judged, right? As an animal, you are not judged, or any other life form that you were born into.
So you automatically become a human again after being an animal?
Again, depending, you can become a human again straight afterwards.
Is this what you've come on to talk about, or is this just
Not really? I mean, all right. So I had a couple of points, but all right, cool. I had a couple of points, right? So one of my questions was,
so are you a Sikh now?
Well, I don't follow, but at the same time, I believe. I wouldn't classify myself as a Sikh if I don't practice it myself.
So you believe it's true?
Yes.
But you don't do it, yeah?
I'm not practicing, yeah. Does
that affect your reincarnation?
I'm pretty sure it would. It all depends upon how, yeah, it would. Generally speaking.
What happens to the Sikhs before Gobind Singh who didn't do the 5Ks? Is there a difference between that and doing the 5Ks?
Again, when it comes down to it, it's going along a true path, right? So it would basically, again, seeking that kind of liberation through meditation and connection with the divine, right? Because when the guy was talking previously towards me, the other guy, right, Ramesh, he was trying to basically say that, again, from the Hindu point of view, that we are a part of God. So there is a divine spark of God within all of us, within all life.
That?
I believe that, right? So,
you believe the universe is God then?
I believe that God is everywhere, outside, as the Muslims do, and I believe that God is within every life form at the same time. So there is a divine spark within. God is everywhere in that.
Why do you believe that?
That is the Sikh belief, but at the same time, to me, it makes sense because I believe God is limitless in power, and yeah.
See, it makes no sense to me. But why do you think it makes sense? I'm trying to understand what's the. Why do you believe it? Well, you don't believe it. Though. You don't believe it because you don't do it.
No, but I'm not practice it. But then you could take, for example, a lot of other Muslims, for example, who call themselves Muslims, who do not actually practice practice Islam. So in that respect, it's the label for me is enough. I need to practice it for me to call myself a Sikh. That's how I see it. The belief isn't enough, right? So end of the day, when it comes down to Sikhi teaches that all beings, including animals and humans, have a soul known as the Atma and are part of a cycle of reincarnation. Sikhs believe that the Atma is given to a being by Waheguru. It is also recognized as a divine spark, which is a part of Waheguru.
Well, why do you believe all this stuff?
Well, see, again, I believe that this is the truth.
Why?
Why? Okay, so why do I believe in it? I believe it makes sense to me.
Why?
Why? Okay,
so,
you're gonna keep asking
me.
Yeah.
We're trying to delve down as to what's true and what's not. So you understand Sikhism and Islam can't both be true, yeah?
No, I believe there's truth in every faith. But at the same time, I believe that Sikhi is the most complete in revealing the complete truth.
No, because I don't believe reincarnation is true. So Sikhism and Islam can't both be true.
Right, but at the same time, that doesn't mean there isn't truth in Islam.
No, but what it means is Sikhism as a worldview and Islam as a worldview can't both be true.
In that respect, sure, one is going to be more true than the other. Yeah,
exactly. Right. So for you to say it makes sense to you, I could easily say, well, Islam makes sense to me. The idea,
absolutely, yeah,
right. So therefore, we cannot use what makes sense to us as a criterion to determine what's true or not.
Okay.
So what criteria are you using to determine what you believe is true other than your feelings? So for example, I'm assuming you were born into an Indian family, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Do you honestly believe if you were born in Morocco, you'd be a Sikh?
I believe it would have a bearing. It would. There would be, an influence.
I think the answer you're looking for is no. All right. Obviously.
No. I understand where you're coming from. At the same time, it's the same thing for a lot of Muslims out there.
Right, it's not. It's not the same thing. It's not the same
thing. It is.
I don't believe it is. So if you're born in an English family, do you believe you'd have converted to Sikhism?
Oh, again, the way I am looking into it, I mean, like I said, I'm kind of the way I grew up in a Sikh family, sure, but they weren't really. It wasn't really pushed on me to learn.
No. But
So,
you've still got that. No, but you've still got that culture, definitely.
to an extent, I mean, I was born in Britain, so
Was
you know,
was your hair grown as a kid?
yeah, my hair was, yeah, but I had absolutely no understanding as to why what it really meant. Sure, yeah.
I get that, but do you think you're born into an English family in Oxford that you'd have think, oh, Sikhism is true, I'm going to become a Sikh?
No, I understand that it would be less likely, less of a possibility. Sure, I can completely understand that. However, like I said, it would be the same for a lot of other people out there, and you're disagreeing with you're right. So
I completely agree with you, Trilla, mate. I completely agree that Muslims should look at themselves and teach their children why Islam is true. Not just because they're from a Muslim heritage.
Sure.
That doesn't make Islam true.
Sure.
Why do they believe it's true? Yeah. So this is a key question. That's why I asked you that question.
Yeah.
Why do you believe, other than your family upbringing and your social condition and surroundings, why do you believe it's true?
Why do I believe it? So it makes the most sense, right? To me, the most logical faith out there, in my opinion.
Okay, one second. Abdul Rahman, you're very good with logic. Which makes more with logical sense?
I mean, I don't know. I was gonna asking questions like
yeah, go.
From what I've known, because I don't know much about this, but then from some conversations there's been like a vibe I've been getting from like the Hindu tradition, which I don't know if it would apply to your position, of like some kind of like relativism about truth. I think it's like truth for you and truth for me and truth for him and so. Is that how you see it, or is that like?
I mean, generally speaking, a Sikh would normally say, "What is right for you, right? You should basically follow that." However, there are stipulations in terms of what we should and shouldn't be doing. So, a Sikh would also point out to a Hindu, idol worshipping is wrong. We would point out to a Muslim, to do your 99, recite the 99 names of Allah. Right, things like that.
Sorry, I'm asking about like not like the moral right or wrong. I'm talking about truth, right? So relativism about truth in the sense that what makes something true is only like that. Truth is relative to a specific like individual or society or context, and there's no such thing as a universal truth. That's what I did get from many conversations with people. So I'm wondering if that is like your position.
I mean, it's similar. I mean, the way I could describe it, I use metaphor sometimes. If truth was a sky, right, and basically religion basically just takes a small part of that sky, you know what I mean? Because the truth is so vast, God is so vast, right? We can only understand a small, understand God to a small percentage, right? We will never understand God fully. So therefore,
contradictions exist? Can contradictions be true? So can a statement and its negation be true at the same time in the same way?
Can contradictions be true? I mean, yeah.
Hamza told you he doesn't believe in reincarnation. Can it be true that reincarnation is true and not true at the same time in the same way?
No, in that respect, no. You can only be one. It can only be one way.
Okay, so in that sense, so you're more of an absolutist in that there's one absolute truth, and it's not just truth for me, truth for you, truth for Hamza, truth for this society or that. There's an absolute truth.
Sure.
That applies to everybody, and there's a right and wrong. Okay, so now what's as Hamza was asking you, now what is your means of attaining that truth? As in, how do you know that a thing is this absolute truth that you're seeking?
Yep. So again, I believe that you can find that truth, that path, right, through most faiths, especially the mainstream faiths, right? Maybe even by not believing in any particular faith. However, the easiest way to find that path, that the truth, is through Sikhi. That is basically, you know, what I mean, what I believe is the easiest.
What's the path though? I mean, what specifically is it that needs to be found? So what's that absolute truth that we're looking for?
What is absolute truth? Is basically, so I mean, between Islam and Sikhi, or
you see, because you're saying that path can be basically taken through any religion, right?
Yeah.
Just that it's just more directed through Sikhism.
Yeah,
So
sure.
what is that path? Like what is the goal?
Generally, the rule is there are three things: it's work hard, work honestly, right? Be charitable, be giving, and to meditate on God's name, right? So to connect to the One through meditation, through prayer.
Who's the one? Who's the one? Like, so how do we know that? Like
the one creator. You call it. You use the name Allah. You have many names for it.
But we have contradictory positions. So my conception of God like contradicts yours. Like, right?
Yeah, sure, to an extent.
So one is right and the other is wrong. I mean, my question is like,
I mean, there are like I said, there are certain things, right, that we differ from, but I tend to look at more at the similarities.
Yeah, there's a common ground, but there's differences.
Trilla, the fundamental difference is we don't believe Allah is part of creation, whilst you do.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. So we are more we are more
fundamentals are completely. So we're thinking of different things here.
Yes, in certain regards, but you believe that God is only outside, so that makes it your Islam monotheistic, right? Whereas Sikh believes in God is outside and inside, so it's more panentheistic. Yeah, but again, so Sikh is panentheistic, right? So only one can be right, sure, and it's going to be my stance is Sikh. On that.
As Abdul Rahman was saying, there can only be one absolute truth, isn't it? And if
absolutely,
if our truth is correct, yours is false,
right? Well, no, again, that's your belief, right? But my belief.
No. Objectively.
Yeah, sure. But does that make a difference from the three things that I basically mentioned, right? So, end of the day, you guys have your way of doing things, right? The way you pray, right? But in that sense, do you do the same things that Sikhs might do in trying to connect to the One? Is that
no? But the issue is we need to focus on like truth here. That's the goal. Is that there are different conceptions.
Yeah, but we've already talked about
radically
that.
different.
Yeah.
But then how do we determine? And this is not like a trap question or something, right?
Yeah.
So you can ask me the same question, and maybe my answer is not going to satisfy you. But what I'm asking is, what like common ground can we use? Like principles we agree on to arrive at the truth. Like, what's your way of arriving at that absolute truth that you believe exists, right? So you believe one is right, the other is wrong. How do we make that distinction?
Dude, like I said, that I mean, we've already discovered that there are differences, right? Like I said, the way we look at God, for example, right? There are many other things that we can look at. For example, the reincarnation and heaven and hell, things like that. So we've come to that crossroads, right? Where we have different beliefs, but at the same time, we have very similar beliefs in terms of.
I'm focusing on the differences just for the sake of understanding. So the differences, right? One is right, the other is wrong.
Yeah.
Forget the common ground right now. I'm not all of it, but just forget that part you're thinking of when it comes to God's attributes and stuff. And I'm thinking of the differences, right? So there's a difference between the two conceptions of God. You believe one of them is absolutely right, and the other is false, right? Now, what I am asking is how you determine which is true and which is not. No, I'm not trying to reach the conclusion that hey, there are differences, as if that's news. No, okay, we already agree there. But since there are differences, and since we believe one is true and the other is not, how do we make that distinction?
So okay, cool. So if because you offered to help me out, how would you determine that being a Muslim? Because you did offer
epistemology, evidence. I mean, it's that it is a complicated question. But then so you said experience, right? You said experience, and you're going to need to elaborate on that. If you ask me the question, I'll tell you this is a question related to epistemology and how we know things, how we form beliefs, how we prefer one view over another, one theory over another. There are
the history of
epistemology and theoretical virtues. Experience is going to play a role, but it's not the whole thing. It's a complete picture. Now, there needs to be a method. You have some kind of methodology. And maybe it's like a bit rough in your head, that's fine, but there needs to be some kind of methodology through which you determine what is right and what is wrong. Not right, wrong morally, like what is true and what is false. If you are saying that you're some kind of absolutist and that you believe you have the absolute truth, then and you say that that's based on reason, well, what's the reason? As in what's that path, right? So I would talk about things like incoherence. The questions I was asking the previous guest about identity and me and you both like being literally God and yet distinct from one another, things like that. things like the concept of this like pure, like absolute existence, or the one. I don't know if you're saying that in like a Neoplatonic manner, but these things, they have implications. What we normally do is we deconstruct them, we ask questions, and we think that they can be either incoherent or just unnecessarily convoluted, right?
Yeah, I get what you're saying to an extent. I mean, you're using a lot of big words, right? And yeah, so
let me use easy words for you, Trilla.
Go for it, please.
Could you be wrong?
Could I be wrong on this? No.
Why not?
Because the evidence is there for me to believe that's the whole Sikh history, for example. I mean, the fact that it was so recent, right? You can look at a lot of the history, look at how. Well, it's all there. The people are there. The religion is there, right? It's all there.
How does that make it true?
Boy, how does it make it true? I mean, well, we can say that it makes it more true than a lot of faiths before it.
Why? The Muslims have always been there. What's the problem?
No, because it was more recent in terms of looking back.
What does that? Do you think? Why does that make it true?
It makes it more. What do you call it? Like, you know, what I mean, when it comes down to the history, right? It makes it more. What's the way? Say believable in terms of you know, it was just around the corner. It wasn't a long time ago. Sure.
Someone could come today with a new religion, and why would you believe it's true?
Well, again, well then you would have to look into it. You know what I mean? Properly.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand. Yeah. Sure.
Have you looked into it? Have you looked into it?
To an extent, sure. Yeah.
Okay, so when you've looked into it, what have you determined that demonstrates to you and proves to you that what this thing is teaching is true?
All right. So you said one of the things, not to say was a feeling, but at the same time, when we do the meditation and prayer, right, which I've done at times, the feeling that I have got from that, you know, is been an immense feeling, right, where I definitely felt, you know what I mean, this you could say almost like a connection to an extent.
So why don't you do Sikhi then if you feel it?
I mean, again, you know, I'm a sinner, you know, I'm a flawed human being, you know. I intend to at the same time, yeah, I'm just
so right now there's no difference between me and you in the eyes of whatever you do. You believe in God? Yeah,
I believe, yeah.
All right, so there's no difference between me and you right now.
No, in terms of what we believe in, sure, there might be differences.
No, in the eyes of God. If I die today, you die today.
Yeah, we are only different. We are only different in our actions, our beliefs, in our speech, and in that regard, yeah. But we are basically both human beings.
Obviously.
Exactly.
Now I'm trying to ascertain what's the difference, because you said you're a non-practicing Sikh. I don't understand what that even means. See, look, you can have a non-practicing Muslim. But if they said La ilaha illallah, then they're Muslim. What is it that makes you Sikh?
Well, see, again, I basically say I don't recognize myself as a Sikh.
Because if someone wants to become a Sikh, what do they have to say or do or believe?
I mean, they can look in. You could look at. Well, basically, you would have to. You can get baptized, for example, right? That is the way
we. As a Sikh.
Well, the word would be to take Amrit, right? That's the correct way of saying it. So, but baptism is you could say a Western term, right, for it. So again, all this information is out there, right? It's very easy to determine, you know, to look at, right, on Google and everything else, right? I know, you know, only the basics, you know what I mean?
So go back to the original point. So you came on the show today to tell us why Sikhism isn't true. Is that right?
Not really. I mean, I basically came on initially because, you know, I was surprised that you just didn't really know anything about reincarnation, and you being from Speaker's Corner and everything else. I felt like you were just taking the mick out of this guy. And so, yeah. And I'm new to this channel, basically. So I really don't know how you guys conduct yourself, generally speaking. But my initial point to you guys was going to be about respecting other faiths in Islam. So from what I gather from some of my Muslim friends, they told me that Muslims are supposed to respect other faiths, right? And from what I'm reading here, it says here, there are 5 divine guidelines that the Quran clearly presents to Muslims for building tolerance and understanding among differing religions. Everyone's God-given human dignity must be respected, regardless of his or her faith, race, ethnic origin, gender, or social status. This is apparently in reference to Quran 1770. So
one second.
Yeah.
1770.
Yeah. I was hoping you could help me out with that because again,
indeed, we have honoured the children of Adam, carried them on land and sea, granting them good and lawful provisions, and privileged them far above many of our creatures. Doesn't really help you. Beware of the day we will summon every people with their leader, so whoever will be given their record in their right hand will read it happily and will not be wronged, even by the width of the thread of a date stone. But whoever is blind to the truth in this world will be blind in the hereafter, and even far more astray from the right way. What this just said what you said.
I mean, from again, that's what I'm just looking at right now online.
This is the problem.
Yeah, sure.
You're quoting the Quran and you don't even understand it.
I'm not. I'm basically reading something online. I'm just giving you a reference.
Be careful what you read online. There's a lot of things online.
Sure.
That...
So maybe you could help me out with the respecting other faiths part from what you do.
I don't respect any lie. I don't. I feel sorry for the victims of the deception of the lie. So I feel sorry for people like yourself and for Christians and Jews and other religions. I feel sorry for them. I see them as victims of circumstance. But I don't respect their teachings.
So why would God basically have us born into other faiths then, or other things like that?
Look. The way you were born, I believe, on your natural fitrah, which is Islam, which is a Muslim. And it's your parents who will corrupt that as you reach the age of reasoning. So as a child, your parents will put, like, for example, a Hindu put the dot on their head. For you as a Sikh, you grow your hair. For a Muslim, the topi will go on. Do you get me? So the parents of that child will be responsible for it. The child's not responsible for what it believes as it's growing up. But what happens when it reaches the age of reasoning is a time to then question, what am I believing and why? That's the whole point.
So anyway, you couldn't help me out with the respect part, but I get what you're saying. Firstly, with that respect part, was that just your understanding of respecting other faiths, or is that what Islam says about respecting other faiths?
That's my opinion of respecting.
Your opinion, right? Okay.
Yeah. There's a difference between respecting and not respecting and mocking and abusing.
All right, I understand what you're saying, but what does it? Can you refer to anything in Islam about respecting other faiths or anybody else here? Because like I said, I hear this from my Muslim friends.
I mean, you might mean respecting in a different way, because it's not like he's saying he disrespects you as like a person or something. No? If you're talking about respecting the idea, well, I mean, there could be ideas that you disrespect despite, like, being able to live peacefully with a person who holds to the idea. So I think respect is a vague word here. It just depends on what you mean.
Respecting
I don't disrespect a person, just to put things in perspective. I've got, like, for example, I've got good friends who I buy scarves off who are Sikhs, and I really like them. They're really nice guys. And so I don't disrespect them. I don't think they're less or anything. The Sikh, that's their religion. I get it. Yeah. But if you ask me to actually see what the claim of Sikhism is compared to what Islam is, and that, for me, that's a disrespect of, that could be disrespect of God, disrespect of Allah, So if you, for example, the Christians make the claim that Allah became a man, Jesus, the prophet of Allah, was God. For me, this is insulting Allah.
Right. But
so I'm not going to respect that.
Right.
I'm not going to respect that.
Right. Okay. So the difference is between Muslims, right? That I see, some Muslims might be more like you and just be openly and blatant about that, right? In a way where it might be quite blunt, right? And other Muslims would be like, "That's your belief. Live and let live." You know what I mean, right? And they might give them they might share their belief with you. At the same time, they wouldn't push it on you and wish you the best on your journey. Do you know what I mean?
How did you differentiate that? Whoa, sorry, stop.
Sure, go on.
How did you make me different to what you just said?
Because, like I said, I see certain Muslims that basically are more like you in terms of, like, you know what I mean? They are
like me, like what?
Quite blunt and quite you could say arrogant or rude.
No, but
I understand where you're coming from in a sense where we both believe that our way is the right way. But there's a way that I see other Muslims, approach people, right, with their, in a more respectful, humble way. And I see other people being very, rude and disrespectful.
First thing, Trilla, to get into your mind.
Yeah.
Usually when I'm speaking to people, they're attacking Islam.
I understand that.
And they're attacking Islam. And so thus I then expose their double standards and their false assumptions and such. Right. Majority of the people I'm speaking to, I don't go to people and say, "Excuse me, sir, what's your religion? You're a Sikh. Oh my God, why are you I don't do this."
Okay.
People come in my sphere of influence.
Yeah.
People come into the arena. Look, the whole concept here is called challenge Islam.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to challenge Islam, you can challenge Islam directly or indirectly. If you're challenging Islam indirectly, it means you're saying, for example, Sikhism is the truth, which would then mean Islam is false. Because if Sikhism is the truth, then that means God is pantheistic. Yeah. You see, if Sikhism is true, that means reincarnation is true. Therefore, Islam is false. Yeah. That's what you're telling me. So by you claiming Sikhism is true, you're telling me my world belief is false. Yeah. So I'm going to scrutinize what you believe, mate. Yeah. I'm not going to mock it. But when you start saying stupid things, that's when obviously it's going to sound like mocking. Well, it's not really.
But I'm looking at your approach, right? And generally Muslims, because again, other Muslims are listening to you and listening to other people, and they're looking how you conduct yourself, right? So therefore, if you are conducting yourself in a way where, you know what I mean, I might not, and other Muslims might not agree with, right? For example, right? I think even you say things like ignore other people trying to provoke Muslims, right? And at the same time, I see you doing the opposite. You know what I mean? You don't ignore it. You challenge them. Do you know what I mean? Right? And you throw the same thing.
What do you mean?
I mean, for example, I hear you. I hear you when you speak. You talk. You tell Muslims basically don't react, right? Or don't.
No.
Go on.
Don't misquote me, mate.
No.
I'll tell you what I say.
Yeah.
I say don't react emotionally.
Right.
That's what I say.
Right. Absolutely.
Right.
Okay.
So
that's what you said today. That's what you said today as well. I heard that.
This is okay. Here's my motto. Yeah. Do not react emotionally to the things that people say to you, for then they know that they can control you with their words. All right.
Absolutely.
That's what
I agree.
say.
Yep.
So I say to people, don't react emotionally. React intellectually.
Right.
React with reason. React with logic. Don't react out of emotion and passion. Relax. You know, these people coming to you are probably misguided, misunderstood, false understandings, and you've got to try to unpack them. Yeah. So the idea that I tell people don't react to what people say and then I react, people say that as if I'm some kind of hypocrite, is absolute nonsense, man. I say don't react with emotion.
Okay.
Because some people want to provoke Muslims, say things they know, oh, your prophet's a pedophile, to create this emotion. And then they can point, see these Muslims, they see, look, told you. Yeah, people do that.
I understand.
So I tell people don't react with emotion. There's no need. Yeah, because we've got the haq. So anyone coming to you with something is coming with nonsense, coming with deception, coming with error, coming with flaws. And all you got to do is just relax. Let's see what they're saying. Let's pinpoint where the false assumptions are, the false premises, the double standards, and expose them.
Because what I tend to see, a lot of Muslims basically go out there and they basically ridicule other faiths. And what's your opinion about that?
Which Muslims go out and?
I mean, just generally speaking, like I see a lot happen online, right? For example, might not be you in particular, other people. I'm just saying, right? Whether they're in the chat, things like that, whether they're in, on panels and things like that, right? Or whether in real life, right. But is it acceptable? Is it right? Would you? You know what I mean?
Mocking, no, and especially not in a vacuum. But you need to understand what he's telling you. He's telling you that he has a specific circle. I mean, you really can't like be serious in saying that this civil, respectful, calm back and forth, is the only kind of conversation that's going to be had in these circles, right? So there are going to be more intense confrontational conversations. If you're saying we should just ignore those altogether, I would disagree. I mean, I just don't see why that has to be the case.
Well,
if you're saying that the norm should be a respectful, civil relationship between people of different beliefs, I mean, we agree with that. Yeah. But it's not like every conversation is going to be like that.
I'll give you an example, Trilla. I'll tell you who I am. I use this example all the time, and I think it rams home all the time. Have you heard of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Yeah.
All right. So when I speak to people of other beliefs, other ways of life, it's like me going up to Charlie Bucket and his grandpa, who are so excited to go to Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory because they've got the golden ticket. And I'm here to tell them it's a fake. I'm going to break their hearts, mate.
I mean, you can tell them that, but they're not going to believe you.
No. Well, I'll demonstrate to them. I'll demonstrate to them how it's a fake. That's the point. So therefore, I'm going to tell them it's a fake. Now, I could act all nice and friendly and have a cup of tea and a slice of cake. Or by the way, your ticket's a fake.
Right.
And I'd be like, or I could go, where you going? Chocolate Factory tomorrow? Right. Nah, mate, it's ticket's fake, mate. You're going to get in. And then what would be the response? Why'd you say my ticket's a fake? And here's why. I believe your ticket's a fake. And then I say, but here's a real golden ticket, mate. And then I'll demonstrate to them why that's not a fake. Yeah? That's it.
Okay, but then what makes you different from, say, Hatun? Because you got a speaker's corner. You're familiar with somebody
What's
like
the difference between
Hatun.
me and Hatun?
I mean, in terms of in terms of basically showing them what they believe the truth is.
Oh, okay. I'll
What's
explain
the
the difference
difference?
between me and Hatun.
Yeah.
If I present an argument that gets refuted, I'll never bring that argument again.
Okay.
What Hatun does, she'll say that argument to anyone she can, hoping she'll catch someone who hasn't heard the argument. And that's a disingenuous nature.
Can I,
yeah?
brother?
And when I go to Speaker's Corner,
yeah,
mashallah, I've done Shahadahs in Speaker's Corner. I've delivered beautiful dawah in Speaker's Corner. There's a beautiful video coming up, actually, of me giving beautiful dawah, introducing and inviting people to Islam.
Yep.
When's the last time I saw Hatun invite anyone to Christianity?
I understand.
No. You compare me to Hatun, so I'm trying to show you the difference.
See,
I can do both.
Yeah.
I can do both, bro. Yeah, I'm only in both of them. I can bowl and bat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do both. No problem. Yeah. Whereas Hatun can't. She can't defend Christianity. All she can do is attack Islam with baited, completely nonsense arguments. Next time you see Hatun, because you're a Sikh, you'll get away with this. Say, Hatun, you keep going on about holes in the narrative.
Oh, I've already told her off for the first time I spoke to her.
No. I just want you to say this to her. You keep going on about holes in the narrative. Can you tell us what's the narrative and what are the holes? Because all I ever hear, holes in the narrative. No one can ever tell me what the narrative is.
Yeah.
What are the holes?
Yeah. Just so you know, I highly disagree with her anyway, and I spoke to her personally, and
then when I did debate with her, she's bringing up the goat, the goat at a verse of the Quran. Everybody in the chat knows what's coming.
Sorry.
Everybody in the chat knows what's coming. We got a mind-wiping goat. And this is the reality. So to compare me to Hatun is nonsense.
No. In terms of you, So in terms of you, if you were to insult, another faith, or because again, that is what it might be happening if you are trying to show them the error of their belief, right? That you might believe in. So in a way,
I told you, I'm telling Charlie Bucket is.
But other Muslims would disagree with that. Other Muslims that I know would say that's wrong to do that. You shouldn't be doing that. You should just be doing what you should be doing as a Muslim, and you shouldn't be ridiculing other faiths at all. This is the thing.
How do I demonstrate to somebody else that their belief is false?
By practicing your faith and showing them how your right action, how righteous you are by living the way that you believe in.
How does that make their belief false?
Again, you're showing them a more just way. The best way to live.
How? They as far as they're concerned, man is a sinner. This is a Christian. Yeah, man is sinful. Can't do anything to get rid of sin. God needs to die for his sins. There's nothing else we can do. Therefore, we're not even accountable for our sin because Jesus died for our sins.
Yeah, but the majority of Muslims do live by that.
So what you're telling me to do, I'll tell you exactly what you're telling me to do. Here's another little analogy for you. You're telling me that people are sat in an all-you-can-eat buffet, and they're eating whatever they like, and there's no bill to pay. And next door, they see me in a restaurant, and I'm eating food. I'm choosing what I'm eating, and I've got a menu, and I've got prices I'm going to pay. Do you honestly think they're going to leave the all-you-could-eat buffet that's free and come and join me in a restaurant that you have to pay for your food?
All I'm saying is, you're opening yourself up for fire. That's all you're doing. When you are ridiculing other faiths, you are telling other people ridicule mine. That's what you're doing. And majority of Muslims. Yeah.
Do you honestly believe that somebody sat in an all-you-could-eat buffet watching me eating food I'm going to pay for is going to say, he's paying for his food. Mine's free. I think I'm going to leave the free food. I'm going to go eat the food I have to pay for. No one's going to do that, mate. Nobody.
Yeah, sorry, go to the free food. Yeah.
Can I just... Yes, I'm sorry, my brother. What is your name?
Trilla.
Trilla. Is that your Sikh name?
No.
What's your Sikh name, if you don't mind?
Yeah, I do mind.
You do? Okay, not a problem. We'll call you Trilla then. Yeah.
Thank you.
Can I get not a problem at all? I think there's a distinction here that needs to be made between, having what I would consider to be a potent discussion as opposed to offending. Okay, and I think you are leaning towards the word offense.
Right.
Yeah. But there are certain times when I think you have to also consider, as Brother Abdul Rahman also mentioned, certain situations where it might be fiery, but both the parties do have that respect for each other. Okay? I mean, I can vouch for myself, as opposed to my dear brother Hamza, yeah? He is very direct.
Yes.
I may not be that direct.
Okay.
But there are instances when I need to be, I will be direct.
Right.
Now, if you look at it and you take it as levels, as it were, and I ask you that, look, is there a time in the history of the Sikhs where they had to take up arms?
Yes.
Why?
To defend themselves.
Why did they not show a better or a more advanced form of understanding by not taking up arms?
No, that is one of our ways of life, you could say, to defend those who cannot defend themselves and to defend themselves.
That's absolutely correct. I don't have a problem with that, but I'm going to just ask you about what you said. Is fighting better or is discussing superior? Which one is better?
Yeah, it's discussing.
Exactly.
Diplomacy.
So is that not the highest standard?
Yeah.
Okay. If you are going to be attacked, okay, and you stood your ground without attacking back, is that a greater form of worship?
It's a greater action, definitely. Yeah.
Is it a greater action?
Yes.
But the gurus found a way to establish a principle about standing up to defend, even if it meant taking up arms.
As a last resort. Only
Absolutely.
When, yeah.
Like I said, I agree with you. Even if it is as a last resort, you are actually confirming that human interaction at some stage in life comes to a situation.
Yeah.
Not could only fail, but it comes to a situation where arms are the only resort.
Yes, in that scenario, it's noble to take. It's honorable, noble to take up arms. Yes, I agree.
Absolutely. But now, just going back to what we said a few minutes ago, you see, the Quran has principles for us. Yeah, in 16:125, it actually tells us, argue with them in the best ways possible. Now, there is a distinction here. If I am speaking to you, and you seem a very gentle fellow, from what I've heard so far, I would afford you the greatest of respect.
I appreciate that. I would do the same.
Absolutely. I agree. Now, if I was talking to Hatun, as an example, okay, I know that I would have to speak to her in a totally different way as opposed to you.
Why?
Why? Number one, would you offend me unnecessarily?
No. Me personally,
She would.
Right.
She would.
Right.
Now, here, bear in mind what I just said earlier, okay? Where there are stages, if you have got a justification, and this one is going to be purely on a subjective basis, if you are in front of a person and suddenly you realize that they are saying something which is highly offensive, do you or would you have the right, according to Sikhism, would you have the right to respond in the same manner?
No, I don't. I'm not. Firstly, I don't know. But at the same time,
I'm glad you
guess,
said that.
Yeah, I don't know. But my guess would be no, because from what I understand about Sikhi, it's about showing utmost humility at the same time. So,
Trilla.
Actually, Trilla. Sorry. Say that again.
I'm just asking Trilla, if somebody insulted his mother to his face, how he'd react.
I mean, the best way for me to react is to not react, and just take the insult.
You wouldn't defend her on...
that would be the best thing for me to do, to not react and just to accept the insult. But unfortunately, I'm a flawed human being, and I do react at times. Yeah.
Well, actually, now I'm glad you pointed this out, Brother Hamza. Trilla, actually, the question therefore arises for you is this: where should the line be drawn between conduct becoming and conduct unbecoming, according to Sikhism?
Okay, so according to Sikhism, it goes to something like, when all means of diplomatic solution has failed, then it's noble to take up arms. However, when it comes from my understanding of this, like I said, violence is a last resort. So therefore, in defense, sure, if somebody came and attacked you, it would, only be right to defend yourself and to defend others in that same regard. But
Not
at the
a
same
problem,
time, yeah, go on.
Sorry, you are talking in a physical manner.
Yeah, so basically, for example, if we use Hatun, for example, she's using words, right? She, at the same time, she's been very, very insulting by bringing the Quran, drilling holes and things like that. And I applaud the Muslims in Speaker's Corner and everywhere else that have not reacted to that and that have tried their best to ignore her, right? So I applaud that. The way they conduct themselves in that.
Sorry, that's not the issue that I just raised.
Okay. Yeah,
what
sure.
I'm asking you, conduct becoming and conduct unbecoming. Now, I asked in the context of Sikhism, yes, because we are trying to understand whether a particular form of interaction, a verbal interaction, is appropriate in a given situation.
Sure. I mean, if you.
So I'm asking you, in that context, according to Sikhism, what is conduct becoming and what is conduct unbecoming?
I'm not sure, because again.
Okay, not a problem. That's I can fully understand. But then we take it logically to the next step. Yes, okay. You see, if I am in conversation with you, and we are having a pleasant conversation, and a third party comes and he starts becoming highly offensive, and then starts encroaching into what we would call our private space, how would you react?
Try to move away from that situation, try and de-escalate that situation.
And they keep coming, and they keep coming, and they keep coming. What would you do?
Again, just try your best to ignore it and evade. And hopefully they will basically cease and desist at some point. Hopefully, yeah.
But they don't, and they keep coming.
Yeah. Then
what would you do?
Again, if they're just trying to antagonize and everything else, again, just try your best to persevere.
No, I agree with you on that, and I would probably do the same. But if they keep coming and keep coming and keep coming to the extent that now they have actually come into your private zone, what would you do?
I mean, you mean your personal space is what you mean, right? If they're coming into your personal space, I mean, if you feel like they're a threat in terms of like they might become violent.
Stop there.
Right?
Stop there.
Yes. Yeah.
When and how do you make that determination?
Again, so this is going to be dependent on probably some life experience. I've worked in the security industry for many years, right? So I have hardly ever got into any fights, altercations, even though a lot of people in the security industry, get in there to have a fight.
As a result of your security training.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I use
result of your security training. Yeah.
Yeah. I use words to de-escalate a situation as much as possible. Use distance to an extent, at least arm's length, right? And to where I feel safe. But if I feel unsafe, sure, I might, have to get physical to a degree. If I feel like it might become, if they might be harmful towards me, sure.
I totally agree with you. But you see, the question that I asked was how and when. Yeah, how does the determination, or how do you make the determination? Well, I would suggest to you that as a Muslim, we are recommended always to have discussions with the utmost respect for the individual you are talking to. However, that has to be distinguished between how you conduct yourself with them and the ideas you are sharing and exchanging. Okay, so going back to what Brother Hamza said, if he considers a particular kind of understanding in his view to be nonsensical, and he actually raises it and says, look, I do think this is nonsense, would you consider, in the context and spirit of the discussion, would you consider that to be offensive?
It could be.
Could be, but it can also not be.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So it depends entirely on the individuals who are having the conversation.
That is true.
It purely becomes subjective.
Absolutely. It's on the
and exactly, and if the necessary guidance is present within the individual engaging in discussion, then there should not be a problem, should there?
Sorry, could you repeat that last bit?
If the person engaging in the discussion has the necessary guidance in how to engage, then there shouldn't be a problem, should there?
No.
That is what Islam asks us to do.
Great, excellent. And I would encourage
Thank
that.
you.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you for your time, guys.
You're a
Yeah.
star.
Yeah.
Not a problem at all. Thank
Cool.
you.
Have a good night. Have a good night.
And you too. Bye bye.
Thank
That was
you.
beautiful. Beautiful, Shabir.
Barakallah feek.
Thank
We've
you.
got one last guest, the lamb. Oh, he's gone.
I'm actually falling asleep, you know, Hamza.
Yeah, no, I know it's late, man.
It's been a tiring day.
It's nearly 1 o'clock, so should we call it a day? There's no more
I
guests.
think so. I think so.
It's 2 o'clock where you are, isn't it, Abdurrahman?
Yep, it's exactly 2
Oh
o'clock.
no! Oh dear, Brother Hamza, I do sincerely apologize. Unfortunately, the mess up that occurred, unbelievable.
You came
But
at
inshallah,
the right time.
I suppose, inshallah. Oh, good.
I told you we saved the Hindu and the Sikh for you, man. All right, Brother Shabir, I'll let you go. Assalamu alaikum.
Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Abdurrahman. You look
Assalamu
after yourself,
alaikum.
inshallah.
Jazakallah khair.
Alaikum salam.
Thank you.
Alaikum salam. Abdurrahman, Jazakallah khair for you.
Okay,
joining.
barakallah feek. Thank you so much.
Alhamdulillah.
Take care.
Honestly,
Assalamu alaikum.
fantastic. I love the way you tap boys speak, man.
Barakallah
Unpack
feek. Thank you
things
so
in
much.
another way. And the whole
Thank you
point
so
of
much,
me doing
barakallah.
these arenas is for me to learn how to deal with, these points, and they're the same points. It's like
Yeah.
nothing new.
I mean, we all learn from each other because I have a problem that I don't know how to simplify, right? And then so I
Yes.
say it like that, and then you say it in this just very simple and intuitive way, and I think that's better. I think that's actually I think it's
both
more
have to
intelligent
play.
to be able to say it in just a very simple and direct way, and I have that problem. So we learn from each other. inshallah.
Alhamdulillah. I do like to think I'm like a conduit between the academia, you guys, the sapiens guys, and the layman. So you say stuff is like so mega, but like how do we use that? How do we utilize that? And me, I'm a type of person who'll take that and say, right, how do I put that in an argument? And where should I put the traps? And so they get sucked
in our gang, Sharif is that guy. He really knows how to simplify things. So he's that guy for us. But barakallah feek, you did it very well today. It's like I'd say what I'm trying to say, like in a very like sort of like more seemingly sophisticated manner, and you just very simplify it very beautifully, and I think that's perfect. I'm trying to learn how to do that, inshallah.
No, but it was
So,
fantastic.
barakallah feek.
And like I said, but I wouldn't have said that simple version if you didn't say the complicated version.
So
like
we
you
learn
say,
from each other. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, my brother. Until next time.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Assalamu
Assalamu
alaikum.
alaikum. Barakallah feek. Assalamu alaikum.
That's it. That's the end of the arena for today. We did 3 hours and 26, which wasn't bad. We're still scraping the barrel on guests, though. We've got to find some good caliber guests, man. Surely there must be people who are having debates on Facebooks and work colleagues and family member and this and that. It's 2 hours to Fajr, isn't it? I've got 2 hours to kill. So alhamdulillah. So no, the guests, some of them were good. Some we learned from, some learned from us. Alhamdulillah. So the whole point of what we're doing and what I'm doing is we're to completely and utterly diluting any argument against Islam. Just completely diluting it. So whatever point somebody comes with, you've already heard it. You've already heard it rinsed, broken down. The false assumptions based upon it. And if you keep watching these arenas, trust me, you'll and take notes. Have pen and paper ready when you're watching these, because I'm telling you, subhanallah. I missed the super chat. Sorry. Where's the super chat? I missed it. Sorry. Anyway, because these guests that Shabir used, look how Shabir took out the Hindu man. Got to admit that 99% of his books are man-made. Subhanallah, these are like something else. So no, I got 2 hours to kill before Fajr, innit? I can't. If I go to sleep now and try to wake up for Fajr, I probably won't wake up for Fajr. So, as a Brucey bonus, inshallah, I'm gonna jump onto my gaming channel now. So if you guys are not aware, or you may not even be interested, I've got a gaming channel where I chill out and basically I do a live stream playing a game, and we do each day or whatever. And I don't play that game unless it's live. So you see every facet and every orifice of what we're doing. And I involve you guys who are watching in what we're doing. So we're playing at the moment Elden Ring, and it's so immersive, and it's a lot of fun to watch, to be honest with you. Very entertaining. You don't need Netflix if you're watching me play Elden Ring. And if you want to see patience in action, my patience is next level. So yeah, we can talk about the arena, what went on here today in the gaming stream. That's not a problem. So I'll put the link up. Here's the link. That's my gaming channel. I'll be jumping on in about 10 minutes, I reckon, 10, 15 minutes. And subhanAllah. So I'll be jumping on in about 10, 15 minutes, and I'll be having a go. Right, and here's a request. Even if you're not into gaming, even if you're not bothered about watching no games and this, that, the other, do me a favor, please. Go to the channel. Just subscribe to it anyway. Just subscribe to it and just put the stuff on there, the videos. Just watch them in the background just to help me build the channel, because I want to reach 1,000 subscribers so I can monetize it, so we can get memberships and this and that going on and things like that. And like I say, if you just speak to the people who do watch, we have a lot of fun. So that's the gaming channel. If you could jump across and just give it a subscribe, and trust me, you won't regret it. You won't regret it, because like I said, I'm playing the game, but we've still got the chat going. We're still talking. We could be talking about the game. We could talk about the arena. We can talk about whatever. It ain't a problem. All right. So I want to thank everybody for joining in, for liking the stream, sharing the stream. You enjoy the chat more than my gameplay. There you go, Gambit. Honestly, it's really good. I really enjoy it. Like I said, it just knits us closer together as a family of what we're doing. The name of my channel is Hamza's Gaming Flex. I'll put the link up again. What I'll do, just as a one-off, let me do this. Just do me a favor, Bushra, put it in the chat again, if you don't mind. I might as well take advantage of this audience we've got now. So I'm going to put a link now in the chat, and I want you to click on it. Yeah, I want you to click on it. Where is it? Where's the link? And just subscribe. I need 300 subscribers to reach. Let me pin it. Yep, I've replaced the pin message now. Yeah, I need 300 subscribers to reach 1,000. And let's see if we can do it. Let me see what we're on. So there must be at least 300 of you here now who can just click subscribe, job done. Let's have a look. And then we've got to get the watch hours up. So then I'm going to have to ask you to just put it on in the background if you're not interested in watching it. 1 second. Oh, there we go. Marshall, I went up to 723 now. Alhamdulillah, that was quick, man. So let's try and get to 1,000 subscribers. I'd really appreciate that. And the chat is funny. The chat is funny. You want to do the boss fight in Ark? Yeah, we'll stream that boss fight as well, inshallah. I'm not a gamer, but I'm invested in watching Hamza conquer each level. Honestly, watch me grow. Honestly, I was like a little puppy initially, but now we're getting somewhere. And the good thing is, it's like watching a movie. It's like watching, an origin story. Watching, because it's from. I'm not an all-nighter because I'm working today in the shop, but I've got 2 hours till Fajr, so I've got 2 hours to play, inshallah. And if you haven't watched it, go back and watch it. Watch the way I began. I think we're on the 7th. This is the 7th episode. Hamza picked better fighters. You only look good on paper. I can only be as good as the competition. Would I ever let viewers play with me? Yeah, that's the whole point. Once we get to 1,000 subscribers and we get the watch hours, we can make it memberships. We can make it interactive and all sorts. We can do all sorts. Get some FIFA going, get a league going. We could do all sorts. What level am I? I think I'm level 40 or something. And there's all sorts of different games we can play. I'm going to get the VR going. I'm going to link that to it. So yeah. So please, just as a request, help me reach 1,000 subscribers. We're on 750. Just click the link. Obviously, there are people who don't really care about gaming, don't really care about me. But those who do care about me or do like a bit of gaming, we could do some Call of Duty, whatever. Head over to the... and just click on the link I've put in the chat and just subscribe. And if you're into gaming, click the bell and then you'll see when I go live. Because I go live at the strangest times, so you might miss me if you've not ticked the bell. And I play on my PC, so it's really, really good graphics. And I've got my controller, next level controller. So alhamdulillah. Bushra's, I thought I pinned it, didn't I? Did I pin it? Let's see. MashaAllah. Thank you, Saran. Really appreciate it. And you're a Christian, isn't it, as well? Thank you for the support. Appreciate it. Yeah, and like I said, it doesn't just have to be game chat. We can talk about whatever. Your sister Aisha says, if you come to Florida, we would subscribe. There are 7 of us here. Just subscribe anyway. Hamza, I care about you, but I just hate games. We'll try again for you. Thank you. And like I say, I just want you as well to watch the videos. Put them on double speed, put them on in the background while you're cooking or working or traveling or whatever. Just give me the watch hours, because we've got to get up to, I think it's quite a lot of watch hours. But some of the videos, like, honestly, one of the streams is 10 hours. 10 hours. Non-stop. So once we get to 1,000 subscribers, it will all change in there. It will all change. It will be immersive. It will be interactive. Alhamdulillah. Full-time gamer or what? I do everything, mashallah. I'm in my shop. I'm in my lives, doing my dawah, playing my games. I do everything, and I put the same intensity into everything I do. Same intensity into my dawah, same intensity into my shop, same intensity into my gaming. Completely. No, I didn't do an all-nighter last night. I just started playing after Fajr. Right, we're killing the gaming time. Yeah, I played Warzone. Congratulations, Mars Brownie. Up to 765 now, mashallah. We just need another. So one point is get to 1,000 subs, and then we need to get the views. This is what we need. Like I said, there's at the moment the videos on there. There's this is me and Ark, right? So you got the lives, 5 hours, 6 hours, 10 hours. 6 hours, 1 hour 20, 7 hours 48, 3 hours, 2 hours. Oh, there's 6 Elden Rings, isn't there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alhamdulillah. You can't buy my shop items online yet, and we'll be starting that channel soon as well. Hamza's Den Fab Hijab. So we'll have an actual YouTube channel just for the Fab Hijab with the shop lives will be on there. I'll be doing videos of the scarves. There'll be links to a website to buy stuff. That's all coming as well. Alhamdulillah. I don't know where I find all this time to do all this stuff, but why don't you game on this channel? On this channel? No. This channel is the Dawah channel. We have a Dawah channel. We'll have a gaming channel. We'll have a business channel, scarf channel. And never the twain shall meet, because can you say twain for 3 things or just 2 things? I'm not sure. 10 hours is average for a gamer. Non-stop. Yeah, I love story-driven games. I'm going to try this Nautica, but everyone's saying to try this Nautica. So we'll try that. Hamza, if you'd like to optimize your code it to the stream to reduce the graininess of the gameplay, let me know. Okay. I think it's pretty good streaming, actually. I'm in London, mate. I'm not in Manchester. Anyway, I'm killing gaming time now. So thank you everybody for joining the arena. I hope you learned some stuff. I hope you was entertained by some stuff. It's always great to see you guys. I know you guys look forward to the arena every 2 weeks. I know you get involved in the chat and you're having your digs. And I appreciate every one of you. So thanks for being part of what I'm doing, inshallah. And like I say, one last time, if you can, jump across to my gaming channel. Help me reach 1,000 subs. What are we on now? 772. MashaAllah. Yeah, my computer's a monster, so it's really good graphics as to what I'm doing. Right, I'm going to go because I'm killing my time. Assalamu alaikum. See you on the other side. Let's say we'll start at 1:30. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. Here comes the lion. Wrong lion.